show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
How you guys doing? I am feeling great tonight. Welcome to another night of What's Cooking in the South here at the intersection of food and football, two of my favorite things. And I love to talk about both. We've got a lot to talk about, a whole lot of NFC South talk. Plenty to talk about with the Bucks taking on the Falcons this week, and the Saints. There's plenty to talk about there. The Panthers, hey, what the heck was that? The Panthers had a nice week. This is going to be an interesting conversation. We have a lot to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about, of course, Tom Brady. No, we don't get paid every time we mention Tom Brady. It's just the man has, I think at this point, everybody join hands, sing hallelujah. Let's all get over the talk of the guy from last year, and let's understand we have right now in Tampa the best quarterback that this team has ever had. Now, I know that's not big news because it's not like this team's got this long history of stellar quarterbacks, okay? But let's also say this guy stepped in, and in 1 year, basically, he has broken pretty much every record other than the interception record, which I think is going to stand for a long time. But guys, this is going to be a very fun show tonight. I've already got a couple of guests here in the lobby that I will get to in just a moment. But I do want to sort of set the tone here by letting you guys know, look, here's the way I look at how it feels right now to be a Bucs fan. And I'm gonna go there. There's gonna be one of those conversations. I'm glad Jacob Charnow's not here yet. Look, here's the deal. This is almost that moment where, you know, after you've been with your woman, you're kicking back. Now I don't smoke, but you know, they say you want to smoke the cigarette. You're kicking back. Everything is good, stress-free, pressure-free. Everything feels great. You get a minute. That's just, the world is good. That's where we are right now as Bucs fans. Light them if you got them. This is the time where you can kick back. It's that afterglow moment, folks. That's what we're in right now. And pretty soon, it's going to be back to the grind and back to reality and back to all of that. But right now, we have a minute of, you know, and that's the... And let me tell you something, if you've been a Bucs fan for a long time, to say that this is pretty close to the feeling of just after your big O, it's not that far off of drawing a parallel. So I really think this is that this is one of the best times that any franchise, anybody can feel. If you know that this team has the losingest winning percentage, the lowest winning percentage. They are the losingest professional sports franchise in North America right now. And in the NFL, obviously, by far. I don't think I'll get those stats up today, but I promise I will have them for you on our next show. But yeah, this is a good time for us as Buccaneers fans. Let's soak it up. Let's enjoy it. We've got a lot to be happy about. Actually, I do have the winning percentages, and I'll bring them up in a little bit. But guys, this is what it's all about. And I don't know if you watched any football this weekend. This was a weekend with a lot of a lot of like fantasy football championships being decided. So I'm only going to take a very brief moment here. It's going to cause me to bring in my first guest. And I think his name says it all. Welcome, Dave. How are you doing?
Well, how you doing, Rick? What's cooking in the South?
Well, I can tell you what was cooking in our fantasy football league, and that was the team that you and I co-managed. You helped me out on that one, brother, and I'd say we did.
I regret not sending Stefan Diggs like a Hickory Farms basket or something just to express our eternal gratitude.
Yeah.
Getting go. It was a slow start on Monday night, but he kicked it in high gear, and well, that's how championships are won.
I was nervous. And for those who don't know, you guys have heard me talk a great deal about trying to, you know how I bring up the triumphant return of Nick Citro? Well, Nick might not be showing his face around here anytime soon because he had trash talked really bad before the season started about how he would just crush me in my knowledge, my lack of knowledge, and how it could in no way compare to his genius. And his word was he would crush me. And, well, we knocked him out of the playoffs handily, mightily, didn't we, Dave?
So very grateful to Nick that that he didn't crush us too terribly bad in the second round of the playoffs. So we're very grateful that he took it, a little easy on us and took his foot off the gas so far that he crashed and burned on the side of the road.
Lost by 70 or something like that. But I just wanted to mention that quick. I know everybody doesn't want to sit here and listen about the Bucks Report staff fantasy football league, but just wanted to take a moment here with my co-champ here and say and just give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back. Now, for those who do not know, Dave is a very long time friend of mine, all the way back to what was it, first grade at Shenandoah Elementary, and the fact that Dave and I were the only ones running around Shenandoah Elementary in Buccaneers gear way back when. So, Dave, how does this feel for you as a Bucs fan? How are you feeling?
Here's what I thought. I know the moment in time when I first felt like a regular fan of an NFL football team. It goes back to the Super Bowl in 2003 because even though the Bucs had a huge lead, I still, all those decades of being a Buck fan, I'm like, they're gonna blow it. They're gonna set some record and they're gonna blow it. And when it finally became clear they were going to win, that is the moment that I felt like a normal NFL fan. I'm starting to feel that now.
Yeah,
you're getting that now. Oh. It's like, I'm slow to get on the Brady bandwagon. I can't get past his age, even though I'm older than him. But
quite a bit.
It's fallen into place. The number one seed we trashed earlier in the season. You got a chance.
Yeah,
you got a chance.
Yeah,
we don't really match up well against New Orleans, even though the first game was prior. We didn't have a preseason. Nevertheless, we got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is the fun part of this. I guess this part of it. Dave, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
I'll tell you what I had for dinner tonight: homemade chicken soup. But my wife puts in so many noodles and goodies. It's more like a chicken stew. Oops. And salad with feta cheese, and then also to top it off, pepper jack crisps.
Ooh, nice. On the salads instead of breadcrumbs.
Well, it's like a cracker substitute kind of thing.
Yeah, I just did. Oh, okay. So you had them separate. No, I understand what they are. I know that there's a company that actually makes them very, very small, like penny sized, and you can use them as instead of breadcrumbs on salad.
Well, it's like a square Triscuit or something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I haven't heard the maybe I missed the show, but the all-time Cooking in the South classic I haven't heard yet on your show.
What's that?
Fried chicken and collard greens Sunday afternoon after church Sunday morning.
You know how we fix that? You send me the recipe, brother. I will put it. I not only will I share it on the show, I'll be sure that with your name on it, it will be in our cookbook that's going to be coming out.
Well, I would say sweet tea to top it off, but I'm not a sweet tea guy. But to me, when you talk about cooking in the South, it's fried chicken, collard greens, and sweet tea on a Sunday afternoon.
You could even have, if you feel like it, go ahead and just make it an Arnold Palmer. Go ahead and add some lemonade if you want. That's fine.
You can do one of the all-time ESPN great commercials was the Arnold Palmer skit. That was awesome.
Yep. So, as a Bucks fan now, looking at this year, looking ahead, what do you see? What's going to happen? What do you picture? Not just this week. Let's go beyond that. Let's go ahead. What the heck? You know what? I don't know how to win yet. I know I'm supposed to be looking just at this week, 1 week at a time. Screw that. You know what? I don't know how to do this yet. I'm learning about this playoff thing. Let's talk.
Well, I think that the Bucks are going to win this week, and they're going to be in the number 5 seed, which means they'll be taking on the Washington football team. And
right. Maybe they got to win this week to be in that spot.
I believe they will. And the Washington football team can't run with the Bucks, so I think you move on, and then it becomes you're probably looking at the Packers at that point. So you're traveling to Lambeau. It's not good. Tom Brady hates the cold. He's made that abundantly clear. And you're going to be going to Lambeau late in the season. So get out your long johns and that sort of thing.
Well, Tom Brady is somewhat used to playing in the cold, so that much is good. By the way, Mike DeRoche, Mike, you're forgiven, my Canadian friend. Mike just put in the chat, what is an Arnold Palmer? I understand why you would not know what this is. It's very, very Southern. An Arnold Palmer is half iced tea and half lemonade. So I understand why you don't know what that is, and that's okay. So it's it's basically a half and half mix of sweet tea and lemonade. But anyway. And by the way, Johnny Dean says, Co-Champ, what is this, Alabama and UCF? Well, by the way, Dave and I both went to UCF. And so we do know what it's like. The difference is this. We're not just claiming it's a championship, although we're good at that too. This is actually just plain flat out winning it. Thank you, Johnny. Thanks for bringing that up, though.
Undisputed.
That's right. Yes, this is undisputed.
Can I make a quick basketball reference, or is that sacrilege?
You can do it quick.
Okay. Orlando Magic are 3-0. They're up at halftime. If they win tonight in Oklahoma City, they go 4-0 for the first time in the history of the franchise, including the year they never went 4-0, even with Shaq and Penny in the golden years.
Okay, so back to football.
There you go. Hey, I've been there from the beginning.
I guess am I supposed to play this? Is this what I'm supposed to play right now? I'm not really sure. So let me do this. I'm going to bring in Johnny Dean, the professor, to be a part of this conversation. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Well, hold on. I nodded off there a second. Somebody mentioned basketball.
Yeah. I was kind of with you. It was, you know what? He started talking basketball, and this is what it felt like.
Exactly.
I stand corrected.
So, Johnny, talk to me, brother. Tell me what's on your mind tonight. First of all, though, what was for dinner?
There you go. I was going to correct you. Hot ham and cheese sandwiches.
Okay, that's nice. That's good. I can handle that.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Who doesn't like that? So tell me what's on your mind tonight, brother.
Well, what did you have to eat tonight?
What I had. This is not that exciting, but it's all right. It's warmed up leftover It's a low carb, it's sort of a version of shepherd's pie, but instead of using mashed potatoes, it's mashed cauliflower.
I love shepherd's pie.
Yeah. So I like it. Very, very good stuff.
I haven't tried it with the mashed cauliflower though.
Yeah. Well, mashed cauliflower to me, it's the same thing as mashed potatoes. They taste so similar.
Yeah, I think actually I like cauliflower better than mashed potatoes. I'm one of those weird people who don't really like potatoes that much. So
Yeah, that is weird. I could, as a child, I used to eat raw potatoes. My mom would literally peel a potato and hand it to me. And I would
I remember that when I was a kid too.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like a thing. Everybody does it once.
I don't know. Dave, did you do it?
That would be. I've done some weird things with food, but that's not one of them.
Huh.
I don't ask what he means by that.
My niece and nephew.
There's a carrot story in here somewhere. I get the feeling, but we're not going to go there.
My niece and nephew have this habit of eating raw ramen.
Yeah.
The bagged ramen. You know what I mean?
My sister used to, and I always thought this was just weird. What she would do is not break up the ramen, and she would just sit there and take the brick of ramen and just start chewing on it. Pieces would go flying everywhere, but she would eat it that way. And I just thought that was the weirdest thing. But I will tell you, I love raw pasta. So I don't know. Well, what you got for us tonight, Johnny? Any football talk?
Yeah, I got plenty of football talk. Where do you want to start? It looks like it's going to be an easy way in now that the Rams are starting golf and Cooper Kupp is out with COVID.
Yeah, what the heck, man? The Rams, can you believe the Rams may not be in the playoffs? I mean, that's amazing. The Rams and the Browns might not be in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Browns really kind of shocks me.
Yeah, I mean, both of them, I just look at it. I mean, the Rams last week were the number 5 seed.
But then again, Pittsburgh's likely to lose this last game.
Yeah, but they're still in. I mean, it's just the Rams were the 5 seed. They seemed like they kind of, I don't know. They just seemed so much in charge of things. And in a snap, all of a sudden, they may be out of the playoffs. And part of the reason, and I think Jacob Charnow is coming on later, is the Jets. The freaking Jets.
Jets, buddy.
No joke.
Well, you could have an 11-5 team not make it in the AFC because you have 4 10-5 teams, and theoretically, if they all win, an 11-win team stays home.
Right. There's a good chance that could happen. And I mean, that's when I think about the Dolphins, I'm interested in the Dolphins. To me, this story fascinates me because the Dolphins could go 11-5 and not make it. And I'm telling you guys, as a Buccaneers fan, something makes me warm inside, warm and fuzzy when I think about Ryan Fitzpatrick getting a good playoff run in him. I mean, to me, I hope that guy gets one shot.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Dolphins do well. I don't know. There couldn't be 3 AFC East teams coming out anyway. I don't think.
I mean, I hated the Dolphins growing up. They were my least favorite team.
They were for a while until Marino was there, and then I enjoyed watching Marino play.
Oh, no, that's when I hated them.
Marino was amazing, dude.
I know, but do you know the abuse that Dave and I got in elementary school because of the Dolphins and they coming off the perfect run and the Buccaneers sucking so bad and.
Who was your team before the Bucs? Because the Dolphins was the only Florida team we had.
Yeah, no, I was a Minnesota Vikings fan and an Arizona Cardinals fan, and sort of the Chargers.
I think the Cardinals are like everybody's just warm and fuzzy with the Cardinals. I've been that way too.
Yeah, I like the Cardinals. I can tell you exactly how I ended up a fan of the Cardinals. And this is so funny that I actually remember this moment because it's such an insignificant moment in life. I was laying in bed and I looked at this poster on the wall. Now, I don't know if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about, but way back in the day, they used to have something called the Bookmobile that would come to your elementary school. And I bought a poster in the Bookmobile of it was all of the NFL teams' helmets. And I had it on the wall in my bedroom. And I was laying in bed one night and I looked up and said, I wonder who I should like. And I already liked the Vikings. And I thought, I wonder if there's another team that I should kind of like. And I picked the Vikings for 2 reasons. I liked the purple, and Fran Tarkenton was fun to watch. But I looked up and I thought my favorite logo. Which one's my favorite? I really like the Cardinals logo.
Yeah.
And I became a Cardinals fan solely based on that. Then I watched a game with my grandfather a few days later and watched Conrad Dobler and Jim Hart and all those guys. And I said, okay, there we go. There's my teams.
Well, that's a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, Conrad Dobler was a beast.
Yeah, he was going nuts. I mean, he was in a roid rage before roids. I mean, he was a maniac.
Oh, he would leg whip people. It was really brutal.
Yeah, he was like the dirtiest player in football at the time, man.
Yeah. I mean, he was Vontez Burfict before Vontez Burfict was Vontez Burfict. So
and he caused a lot more damage too.
Yeah, he did. He was crazy.
The guy for the Rams, I can't remember what his name was, had the cast on his arm and used it after. I mean, he had that cast on his arm for like the whole season.
it was removable, but he used it anyway. You know? Yeah.
Bust the lineman upside their head and stuff with it.
Yeah.
To get that rush.
That's funny stuff, man.
Yeah, but that's kind of a lock now. So what are the Bucks? Are the Bucks going to play their starters like?
Yeah, they came out today and said they're
I get
going for the win.
Their starters, but they are going to play to win this game.
Yeah, he very specifically said. We're playing to win. We're not resting our starters.
Okay.
So,
and Rojo's cleared now, right?
Well, now this is interesting because they did not say Rojo was playing. Okay, they said he's been cleared from the COVID-19 list, but they did not say he's playing or practicing or anything. And remember, he still had the finger surgery.
Yeah, he was on the inactive list as of yesterday, but I didn't know if that had changed today since he come off that list.
Yeah, well, this is all that I know is he is no longer on the COVID-19 reserve list. Now, that doesn't mean he's playing.
But that doesn't really scare me with
I don't know. They're so deep at that position, it's irrelevant. They're so deep at that position, it's irrelevant. I mean,
it's not, if it was Mike Evans was off the list or somebody else, then I'd be worried a little bit. Yep. Not even that much with that either.
Yeah. So, did you see any of the game last night?
Yeah. I said as soon as he threw that phone that there would be memes in the morning over that.
It was beautiful. That is actually my favorite moment of the 2020 NFL season.
I have never seen him do that. I've never seen him throw a hat or anything.
Well, no, he's thrown his tablet a couple of times.
The tablet thing, yeah.
Right, but nothing like this. No, he's I think the verdict is in. I think it's clear. It was the quarterback, not the coach.
I think it was both.
And you know what I want to do? And Tyler and Harry the Greek, I know you guys are waiting out there patiently. This is going to take a couple of minutes, but I want you guys I hope you guys will be able to hear this that are on the phone. But I'm going to play a video here, courtesy of Fox Sports 1 and Colin Cowherd. But I want to play this, and it's going to take a couple of minutes, and it's, I think, everything that I want to say, and some of what I have said about Tom Brady, but it's coming from Colin Cowherd and not me this time. I want you guys to listen to this it's going to take a couple of minutes, but I think it's just phenomenal.
I mean, we know certain things are really important in life. Like if you've ever had car trouble, if you've ever had unreliable transportation, and we all know it's important to have like a reliable car, but man, you can't even quantify how valuable reliable transportation is. And we all know it's valuable, but it's still underrated. It ruins your life. I had a buddy once that got a cavity. He's like, at least if I broke my arm, I could walk around. He goes, I can't think. I can't sleep. You get a cavity, it ruins your life. It's like last night, the Patriots lost at home against the best coach in football history, 38-9. What would Buffalo have won by against Doug Marrone, Mike Mularkey, 51-3? That was against Belichick at home in a standalone game. And it wasn't even competitive, the gap in talent, speed, playmakers. Bill Belichick, if that's not a wake-up call that he needs to give more personnel power to somebody else outside the organization, I don't know what is. They haven't drafted a skill player. that made a Pro Bowl in a decade. I think it was Gronk was the last one they drafted, and he retired once. The numbers are staggering. 11 first downs, 200 total yards. Buffalo had almost 500. Buffalo had the ball for 40 minutes. New England 20. Cam passed for 34 yards. And I talk about transportation being underrated, even though you know it's valuable. Let's just admit it this morning. Tom Brady was undervalued. No, I said it. Despite all the credit, despite us knowing how great he was, despite calling him the GOAT, he was undervalued. I'm going to ask you a question. Try to figure out the answer. New England had a top 10 scoring offense last year. How? Their offensive line is better this year. New England was 12-4 last year. Their only losses were to 3 division winners and a really red-hot Miami team at the end. How? They don't have any players. I mean, this whole thing was always, remember, we always argued, it's the system. You'd see these newspaper articles. You'd see these articles in magazines, clearly New England coaches planting them. It's about the system. I want to talk for a second about the system, because the system got a lot of press. I've never met the system. The system is Josh McDaniels, because Belichick lets Josh run the offense. So Josh McDaniels created a system that's very sophisticated. He actually took it to Denver. And so this morning I went and looked up how the system did in Denver. Oh, it was 11-17, fired after 2 years, and in scoring in the NFL, it was 20th and 19th. 20th and 19th. Okay, there are exceptions in life. The system then moved to St. Louis. McDaniels got fired, went to the Rams. Let's see how the system did in scoring. Oh, it was 32nd in the NFL in scoring, dead last. Okay, all right. We'll give him a quarterback. All right, let's give him Cam Newton in the system. He's a former MVP. Well, they're 28th in scoring. Brady, in 20 years, in the system, was never lower and almost always above 7th. They had a top 10 offense last year with that. This garbage. How? Again, the offensive line is better this year than it was last. And you see the duress sometimes. Cam, who's more mobile than Tom, is under. This system is a bunch of nonsense. Tom Brady is the system. He's the system. Because Tom Brady went down. Everybody talks about Bruce Arians. Oh, first year with Bruce Arians. Everybody struggles. Yeah, Tom's not. He's going to complete 68% of his throws. His passer rating is going to be over 100. He's going to have like 37 touchdowns and 11 picks. Come on. You tell me. Maybe Bill Belichick, he relies on a system because he's won now 46% of his games without Tom Brady. These numbers are staggering. And Cam Newton, again, former MVP. We never said Cam Newton was Tom Brady. Here are the numbers, Tom Brady to Cam Newton. And we went in with realistic expectations for Cam Newton. He didn't get a preseason. He was kind of an odd fit with Belichick, we thought, and Josh McDaniels. Look at the numbers. Brady, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. Cam, 5 touchdowns, 10 picks. I mean, I'm sorry, but there are certain things in life we know are valuable, and they're still not given enough credit. Tom Brady now qualifies. That and a reliable car.
All right. We are back. I think that says just about everything that needs to be said when it comes to the entire discussion regarding Brady Belichick.
So what are you saying that Belichick is a bad coach?
I'm saying that Belichick has not stood out as being special.
You remember
and
Brady's
spectacular.
first 2 Super Bowls was a new
Hold
coach.
on. You asked me a question. You got to let me finish. Okay. Now, I am saying that he has not, that Belichick's legend was built with Brady. That's what
I
I'm
agree
saying.
with that.
That's all that I'm saying. That I think is all that I'm saying. I'm saying right now, you're seeing Belichick without Brady, and the offense is pretty much the same. So, if anything, like Colin Cowherd said, the offensive line is better this year. So, I mean, I All that I'm saying is this. Those are facts. Take it where you want. You draw your own conclusions. I just think
could say
it's
that I believe with a good quarterback that Belichick can win with a team around him. Brady left because there was no team around him. He stated that he was irritable with it.
and who's been behind that? Hold on, we got Matt Colson calling. Hey Matt, how you doing? This is Matt from Oklahoma on the line.
Hey man, I just watched old truth speaker Colin Cowherd. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Belichick is a bum.
No, I don't think it's that Belichick is a bum, but I think it's fair to raise those questions. Hey guys, I have Dave, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Dave, if you'll hang around for a little bit, I would appreciate it. But Johnny, is it okay if I clear the line? Because I need to get Tyler and Harry in here. They've been hanging patiently.
I have an interesting stat related to the Patriots, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
That Cam Newton's 34 passing yards last night was the fewest by a Patriots starting quarterback since 1993. And do you know who that was?
Who was that?
Scott Sekuli's in week 10 had 13 yards passing. 1993. Cam Newton has 5 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He is on the list in the top 5 of the fewest touchdowns for a quarterback who started 12 or more games.
Wow. And I'm
just saying.
Oof. Okay, let me bring it. First of all, Matt, what'd you have for dinner?
Well, I think I had told you this the other night. I had Italian sausages.
Again?
Because I had to eat them. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair.
You can only keep them so long. That was nice. It was good. And I feel fat right now.
Okay. Harry, what'd you have for dinner, brother?
I had air-fried chicken thighs with some really good rice. I diced up some onions, and it was very good. Nothing Greek except for the baklava.
Okay, well, that's something Greek. That's something Greek. Tyler, what'd you have for dinner?
Tonight we had our first snowfall of the year, real snowfall. It's still coming down out there. So my wife made chili, big old pot of chili.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah, chili on the snowfall. That's awesome. Mike DeRoche. He said he has never had cauliflower. Mike.
It'd be easy.
They don't let you out of this room, do they, Mike? It's genuine. You're stuck in that room. Dave, to give you a little background, Mike DeRoche, our friend from Canada, I brought up brisket. He's never had brisket. Didn't know what brisket was. Okay. Then the other day he said, I've never had shrimp ever in his life. Had a shrimp. Okay.
Damn, he's living in a box.
I know. And now he says he's never had cauliflower. He literally is just living in that room.
Has he ever had pizza?
I sure hope so. We lost Matt. I don't know how we lost Matt. I'm not sure what happened there. But that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Okay, what do you guys have to add here for Harry? What you got for me tonight? Any good Bucks info?
No, other than the fact that I stated yesterday through sources that Ronald Jones was going to probably clear the COVID this week. And I keep forgetting the defensive player that has that hamstrings. Help me here.
Is it Jamel Dean?
Yeah, Carlton Davis.
Oh, okay.
They are very, very anxious trying to get these guys and get the rust off of them and make sure they're playoff ready.
Okay.
Because they did have some concerns, and all of a sudden it became breaking news today that he cleared COVID, but we broke it on the sports. Yeah,
but they did not say he was going to play.
No, they didn't say that, but he had to clear COVID first. Let's just put it this way: they want him to play.
Okay, that's awesome.
They're not knowing how much they're going to give him as far as reps because of the pinky. They'd really like it to be able to rest one more week.
Yep.
The finger that did break, but they are going to try to get him involved in the game to keep his momentum going because he's going to be a very, very intricate part of that offense.
Tyler, what you got?
I think if it was me, I would just sit him. You've seen what Fournette can do. Just take him into the playoffs healthy. You know what I mean? You're so deep. I mean, that's kind of why you brought all these pieces in here. I would let him rest.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way of thinking. But here's the only thing I want to mention. The only thing I'm not sure about that thinking. First of all, you do have the depth. So if God forbid something happened to that pinky again, you're just fine. I mean, that's one position they can take the hit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he's going to want to try to get that 1,000 yards. He's 100 yards away from it. He's not going to be able to get it if he doesn't do it this week. This is it. So I think part of the Buccaneers game plan is going to be to run the living daylights out of the football to try to get him that 1,000 yards and try to get Evans 39 to get him over 1,000. I think that's partly a goal. One thing I'll say about Arians is he seems to care about these things for the players, and I think that's kind of cool.
I think it is too, but I also don't think you should jeopardize what you could have moving forward.
It's understandable.
We haven't been in this situation in a long time where you got to worry about sitting guys to keep them healthy for the playoffs or let them chase numbers. So it's kind of a weird situation to be in as a Bucs fan, a weird way to have to think about it. But either way, whether they sit him or not, like you said, I know he wants that 1,000 yards. Whether they sit him or not, it doesn't. I don't think it's going to affect this week's game at all.
Even if they play him, I don't think he's going to get the 100 yards unless they do it in 8 to 10 plays, because can't see them really giving him that many reps in this game for fear of injury. Yeah, I think they're just wanting to see how he's going to handle himself trying to go through the line and if he makes any oopsies.
I also want to say I love that video from Colin Cowherd, but I'm giving Bill Belichick the benefit of the doubt for the year. He had a bunch of players opt out for the COVID.
Defensive players.
Yeah.
And those were all offensive statistics.
Look bad. Cam Newton is exactly what we thought he'd be in New England. Bad, probably even worse than what we expected. But I still want to see him, Bill, with a decent quarterback and all his all of his defensive guys come back, and then I'll have the discussion. But I still 100% agree that even with all the credit Tom Brady got and how much they did value him, he was still undervalued as well.
But hold on. Whose fault is it that they don't have a quote unquote decent quarterback?
I don't think they had a ton of options coming into this year.
They had Tom Brady.
Well, they did have Tom Brady, but I don't think Tom Brady wanted to be there anymore. You could say they didn't make the effort for them to bring him back, or enough of an effort, but I think it was going to take a lot for him to come back. I think he wanted to be playing warm weather football, and I think the Buccaneers had a ton to offer, and they're basically giving him the ship. He knew he could bring Gronk back. I mean, the Patriots had to offer a ton to bring him back to New England, I think.
I
would like to see somebody like Carson Wentz go to New England, or even as bad as he's looked, I want to see somebody like that go to New England, or I don't know.
How about Matthew Stafford?
I would love to see Matthew Stafford in New England. I would love that.
Yeah.
Simply one, because I really like Matt Stafford and I want him out of Detroit. Yeah. And then you could also see
you got to respect Matthew Stafford. He's one of those players that I just respect the heck out of. And he's been nothing but a team player in Detroit when he's had every reason to go ahead and complain. And
that guy should have got out. He's had all the reason in the world to leave that franchise years ago.
Yep.
Here's a fun fact for you. That last game that he played against the Buccaneers, he was so injured that the medical staff was demanding that they bring the cart out on the field, and he actually took the shortcut. He hopped on one leg the entire way through because he did not want to go off the field in a cart. And he's publicly said that he wants to play this weekend. He's banged up, and he didn't care if he was on one foot. Because I personally think that this is going to be his last game as a Detroit Lion.
There's been a ton of his teammates, I know it's a very cliche thing to say, that he is the absolute toughest guy they've ever played with. Whether it's in practice, he doesn't miss practices, doesn't matter what he's on, doesn't matter if his thumb's broke on his throwing hand, he's there. There's been a ton of guys who say that this guy is the toughest guy out there.
Oh, he's a gamer.
Yeah.
I see him twice a year.
Yeah.
That guy's a gamer.
Yeah, I want to add somebody here. I want to add Cedric here. Cedric is coming in. Cedric from the deck. Let's bring him on here. Hey, Cedric, how you doing, brother?
Mr. Rick, how you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Good. How are you? Well, we got some problems with the
Doing
audio.
good.
If you're listening, I'm not sure. There's a big delay.
Okay, hold on for a second. How's that?
Okay, well, can you hear me now?
I can definitely hear you. I'm
Okay, there
sorry, we
we
got
go.
it on the screen. I got it on the kitchen TV so everybody can see. I
Okay,
had the volume up.
got it. Well, Cedric,
All
what you
taken care
got
of.
for us? Talk to me. First of all, what'd you have for dinner? This should be interesting.
What did I have for dinner today? Now, I got to get used to you asking me those questions. What
Hey,
I had,
that's
I
what
had
this show's all
McDonald's.
about, my friend.
I had McDonald's. I don't know, a couple hours ago. We
What'd
actually
you have
are
at
getting ready to head
McDonald's?
out to dinner.
What'd you have at
Yeah,
McDonald's?
double cheeseburger, 10-piece chicken McNugget, large order of fries. I think that was it.
Oh,
Not
no,
too much.
that's
That
a
was
good
it.
dinner. There's nothing anybody in this room is going to complain about that for dinner. I'm sorry. That's good stuff. And have you seen McDonald's now has these $3 trays of fries? It's this massive tray. It's like you get a boat of fries.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
they
love it when
said,
people walk in and they grab a Diet Coke, though.
Yeah,
and 5 orders of large fries, please.
yeah,
Diet Coke.
exactly.
No ice.
What do you
Thank
want?
But hey, you know what? Everybody has dated that girl, though. You've all dated the girl at some point in your life who she puts the word just before everything, right?
Yeah.
I'll just take. I'm stealing this from a comedian. I'll just take a Big Mac and just a large fries and just an apple pie and just a cheeseburger and just 10 McNuggets and a small Diet Coke. We've all,
And half of that ends up in the garbage can. Still looking good, though. Still looking good.
exactly.
You gotta give it up to McDonald's. Their food looks good for weeks.
And she'll pick at it, right? She'll have like 4 French fries, 1 McNugget.
Do you still have that apple pie I got last
Yeah.
Tuesday? Is it still in the refrigerator?
Because it never changes. Their food never changes. What you got cooking over at the deck?
Okay, so we are coming up on an event that we do at the deck. It's called the Latin Flavor Night, where we combine a lot of the Latin culture with some of the food and definitely with the music. As you know, we do live music at the deck every Thursday through Saturday. So we try and mix our food in with some of our music. And because we have such a large area on our deck, we can accommodate everyone outside. So it's kind of a little fiesta that we have going on every other Saturday at the deck. So right now, what I'm featuring, if you can see my hat, that is my boy Milo
Empanada
Caran,
Brothers.
and they're called the Empanada Brothers. Yes,
Yep.
and he is from Colombia. He's been living in this country probably since he was about 4 or 5, and his family brought the family business over. So they operate out of Miami. We are in Tampa in the St. Pete area. And so we're going to exclusively be carrying Empanada Brothers empanadas, hand-rolled Colombian empanadas,
Oh, nice.
fine corn grain dough with about 150 flavors. So think of a really good Hot Pocket with any kind of flavor that you want in it.
Nice.
And gluten-free also. So it does help out in that situation with folks who have those type of allergies.
And Colombia is the only country in South America that I have been to. And let me tell you that the one thing I can tell you, I went to Cartagena and
Okay.
I can tell you the food was outrageous. How good
Outrageous.
it was.
Yeah. Milo's
Yeah.
from Medellin, and
Yeah.
I met his grandmother, his mom, and I mean, they still hand roll that dough, fine corn grain. I just had a cheeseburger empanada the other day, so that was the hamburger with
Oh,
some
wow.
mac and cheese in it. It was
Wow.
amazing. It's amazing. All in a little pocket, little handheld. So we're featuring those at the deck for this month, and you can get those in a basket. You get 2. You get some incredible sauces with it, and I cannot take credit for that food, but I love having local businesses come in and
Yeah.
show their wares. You know, we're a good place for people to look at our menu and see a lot of different things on there. So every once in a while, I try and throw a little something in there fun, and we'll commemorate all that with our Latin Flavor Night. Miss Erica Jimenez is performing that night, and if you get a chance to see her videos on the Deck Bar and Grill website or page, Facebook page, she's amazing also.
Awesome.
So that's one of the things that we're carrying right now. But let's see, what should you have for dinner at the deck tonight? What do you think?
Oh
I
man.
know
See,
I know you want wings. I got your wings. We're gonna get them nice and packed and get them sent off to you.
Nice.
They'll probably be with all the COVID doses because I heard that's a real good freezer they're using right there. So we want to make sure that your stuff, make sure that your stuff stays fresh by the time it gets to North Carolina.
Well, listen, I mean, what I like, yeah, it's just because I constantly hear about the burgers and wings at the deck, and I got to get down there for a game. So,
I want to say one thing. I found out today. A guest brought it up to me. We have several beach magazines and publications that go along this Gold Coast here in Florida, and we were voted. The deck had the best burger in the Tampa Bay area, so we finally got through the vote.
Wow, that's awesome.
Best burger.
That is awesome because I can tell you, and I'm not going to mention the name of the other restaurant, but I can tell you the best burger I've ever had is in the Tampa area, and at a different restaurant. But if this is better than that, oh my God, I gotta go.
I don't mind bragging, Rick. Go ahead and throw your names out. We all a good foodie community around here. So I know El Cap has an incredible burger.
Ozona Blue.
Chataway.
Blue. I think it was called Ozona Blue.
Ozona Blue? Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And so to be kind of ranked up in that echelon with those burger makers out there, that makes us feel really good. So it's just showing the quality of our food.
Awesome.
The flavorings that we use. So again, we're not your average sports bar. We're not just going to throw a hot dog at you, some old wings at you. We're going to make sure that you get some good quality food, man, while you're enjoying your games at the deck.
Awesome, Cedric. Awesome. That is awesome. You got any Bucks talk for us? Got any questions? How you feeling about all of this?
I am just excited. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm pretty sure the Bucks are going to the playoffs. And I think it's 13, 14 years. I haven't checked the stats.
When did that happen? They're going to the playoffs? Really?
They're going to the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Did you hear this yet? Yeah, they're definitely going to the playoffs.
Yeah, we've all maybe heard that. We're all about it. We are all about it.
Well, I'm gonna brag a little bit about my Bucks making it to the playoffs. Like I said, I think my daughter was 6 years old. She's 20 now. Last time I celebrated a Bucks playoff game. Yeah, a whole lifetime, right?
Oh, it's been longer than that. Yeah, it's been longer since they actually won a playoff game. Yeah,
since they won a playoff game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to them going in there. It's funny to watch the teams. I think I like to call this fantasy week because you're getting a lot of Super Bowls and fantasy leagues. They're finishing up their leagues.
I don't know if you heard this, Cedric, but on the screen here, you see the guy who has the name Champ.
Yeah, I see Champ. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Champ and I co-managed the Bucks Report fantasy our team together.
Okay.
We had a team together that, and there's a reason he's named Champ tonight.
Congratulations,
we
man.
The rest of the staff.
I remember my first championship win. Yes, good job, man. Way to go. Are they going to put a little asterisk next to your name because it's the 2020 season, or
what's that?
Are they going to get a little asterisk next to the winner's name because it was a 2020 season? I think it's going to be
heck no. You think I'm going to no asterisk? I mean, you think I'm going to let that happen? These guys are never going to hear the end of it.
Okay, and did the loser get a tattoo or
no? You know what?
Facebook post?
He's not the guy that really paid for it. The guy that really paid for it is a guy we got. He's an analyst here on staff, Nick Citro, who I am going to give grief for the next year too because he trash talked me hard before the year started.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, and then we knocked him out of the playoffs by like 70. I mean, it wasn't even close.
I'm thinking the fantasy points these last 2 weeks had to be like insane, right?
Yeah.
So are people going to be rested this week for the last game of the season, or they're going to go full bore, just try and keep their team at a pace so they can go into the playoffs playing the same way they're playing? I mean, look at the way Buffalo's playing at the end of the season.
Well, Cedric, Harry just talked about this. I mean, Harry, what was your thoughts about this again? About do you think they're gonna? I mean, you were asking if they're gonna play, or you were talking about, or about whether they're gonna play these guys. You think they're just gonna shake off the rest off them, Harry?
Which team are you referring to? Tampa.
The Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Yeah, they plan on playing their starters, and Bruce Arians can say whatever he wants. But come the third quarter, if they have the game in hand, Believe me, they're going to be pulling these starters out of the game.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Well, also, if you're talking about fantasy and as a whole and not just the Buccaneers, there's still so much room within the playoffs that can shake up that everybody's still got to play their players for the most part. You know what I mean? So the teams that are out of it, they're going to play their guys because it's the last
I
game.
think Buffalo said they're not.
And Buffalo's sitting a bunch of guys.
Yeah,
which is
Buffalo
weird.
said they weren't. I know Aaron said it pretty much directly after the game that he was going to rest some players for this final game.
No.
You know, that's going to be interesting enough to see.
Yeah, he came out and said flat out, we're not resting our players and we're playing to win this last game.
But there's so many teams that can move up in the playoff picture that there's going to be a ton of guys playing. I mean, if your fantasy team has guys in the NFC East, you got every team in there that can win that. So it'll still be a pretty good week for fantasy.
Yeah.
If you're got a week 17 league going.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I just was impressed by the way the Saints played this week. Buffalo played. I mean, really, that was that the highest scoring game that we've had all season, or did we score more points in another game?
No, that was high
this year. The Bucs.
45 was the high before that against the Raiders. 47 is the high.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
You know, I feel like everybody's going balls to the wall right now.
Yeah, well, and that's what I think. I want to see. I really want to see this. I want to see them come out strong. And again, if they could have a game just like last week where you pull everybody at halftime, that's fine.
Yep.
But 2 weeks ago, we just struggled against the same team we're about to play. So
I know. For the
we
first
had to be a second half team. This is the first game I haven't seen us be a second half team. We were actually physically in control of this game going into the second half, allowing Brady to sit, allowing Gabbard to get some time, which I still think is very valuable. You got a 42-year-old quarterback, and yes, he's been very lucky all season, not having the injuries, not getting hurt. But that could happen at any time, you know.
Yeah,
so
Cedric.
I think it's good to give some people a chance to play.
Yeah, Cedric. One of the things that I brought up is I think I think that second half of the Falcons game, this team, I think it was sort of the light switch flipped, it flipped on, and that's when everything changed. So I don't know.
So if we can go into the playoffs playing that way, I don't see any reason why we're not at least in the NFC Championship against. I'm not sure how the draw is going to come out yet, but against the Green Bay or the Saints again, and we know what we got to do against the Saints.
Yeah,
and we know what we've done against Green Bay, so we got a good chance, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Cedric. I don't want to take up all your night here, my friend.
It's okay. I love spending time with you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're willing to come back Saturday night or Sunday night, if you've got the guts, come back Sunday night, Cedric. You don't know about our show on Sunday night, but it gets on Live from the Cheap Seats. It gets a little crazy.
I'll be with your boys at the restaurant on Sunday. We got the 1:00 game. They'll be doing their post-game show, and I'll definitely get a chance to jump on there and talk about how we did for the last game of the season, how we did for the whole season. Regardless of what we end up doing, what a difference from last year, what a difference from 2 years ago, what a difference from 3 years ago. And if that doesn't give you hope for your Bucks to move forward and be a better team in this next decade, I don't know what it could be.
You're right, Cedric. That's what I said.
You can see teams changing. You can see things moving. You can see the AFC East.
Yeah,
AFC might actually be a competitive conference. And then you see the fall of the NFC East. How horrible that is that they shouldn't even get an invite to the tournament, to tell you the truth. But again, things are changing in the NFL, and I like all the new younger stars coming up and making their own way through the system. So it's going to be fun to watch these next 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a ton. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol. You guys, best parties ever. There you go. Thank you, Cedric.
Peace out, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great one. All right. That was awesome. Dave.
I'll tell you what, over at the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla, every Sunday morning, I mean, from the time we get there to the time we leave, he literally caters to us. He is such an awesome guy, man. He's
awesome.
That's just a very small portion of what his personality is like. He really, truly is a great guy.
That's awesome. Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got a question for you real quick. What's
Yeah.
your favorite? Because let me tell you guys something. This guy knows how to food on a football Sunday. Okay. So Dave, flat out, talk to me. What's your favorite football food?
My favorite football food. Yes.
Is it
It's
your
hard to
burger?
narrow
Well,
it
I
down.
know it's hard, and
It's not
and
only but for as far as an appetizer goes, my all-time favorite is bacon wrapped scallops.
so I've had the opportunity to go watch a game at Dave's house, and I will tell you, and this is not this is fact. His wife knows how to seriously have a football food Sunday. Now Dave's out grilling phenomenal burgers.
Shelly burgers.
Yep, Shelly burgers, and Shelly is so busy. I mean, she's got. I mean, there's so much coming at you. It's just freaking awesome. I believe it was a Super Bowl there or a national championship or something at your house, and just the sheer volume. And if Peter Blake is still out there, I was the victim of volume that day because I had so much food that I mean I cannot believe how much food I actually got down in one day. I mean it was insane. Every appetizer, every little thing you can think of, they just kept coming. They just kept coming.
We were in a caloric stupor.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to add both of these guys in here right now. I'm going to add Mike DeRoche, who's going to try and defend himself for not knowing what any of this food is. And he's, of course, locked in his room, as always. And we're going to add Jacob Charnow. And I don't know if we can make this any bigger or not. There we go. There we go. All right. So, first of all, Mike, what'd you have for dinner?
Not cauliflower.
Pasta.
Pasta? What kind of pasta?
Like a bow tie pasta. It's like a shaped like a bow tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Isn't that called pasta farfalle or something like that?
Sure. I don't care.
With cauliflower and brisket.
Oh,
Yes, not with cauliflower and brisket. We know he didn't have that. And we know now he thinks all shrimp tastes like rubber because he reheated shrimp from a Chinese place. So
I have had a lot of empanadas in my life.
okay. Well, there you go.
They're so good.
Jacob, what'd you have for dinner, my friend?
I was really hungry after my show, so I made myself a steak on a pan with some sautéed onions, and I made myself 2 eggs, and I went to town on them.
That's okay. Okay, we know who the winner is tonight.
I had some steak. My mom's like, this steak needs to get pushed, and so I made it.
We don't know if he's the winner yet. How do you like your steak is the question.
Yeah.
Medium rare. Medium rare is the only answer.
Okay, we're good. I'll go with that.
He's a Jersey kid. Of course he
I'm
likes
not
it.
okay. Now here's where you guys are all probably gonna like. I don't like rare steak. Now Dave would eat it still in the pasture. Okay, I am not
Knock
that
off
guy.
its horn, wipe its backside, and throw it on a plate. We're good to go.
And that is not. I can't do that. Okay, I do like my steak medium. Now I will tell you, as a kid, I mean, I was a nightmare for steaks. I wanted my steak well done, and I would put ketchup on it as a kid. Now, thankfully, I grew up and became a man, and I put away childish things, you know. But
Do you say ketchup on a steak?
when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, I would put ketchup on steak, or I would put A1 sauce, or I would put whatever. Now, let me tell you something. Now, you want to know how I like my steak? I like my steak with salt and pepper only. I don't need all the other stuff added to it. I don't need you to add, it doesn't need anything.
You don't like steak sauce?
No. I just want the steak. I want to taste the steak. I want to taste the meat.
I do salt, pepper, garlic on my steaks, and then sometimes I'll use like a certain rub. Like I have like a Cajun rub that's like delicious, and I like that.
I typically try to find some sort of rub to put on it, but I can just throw it in with salt and pepper as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does anybody
that's
like?
what it's all about, because that's when you're tasting steak. You're not tasting. I don't look if I want some kind of Cajun rub, I'll put it on something. I'll put it on chicken, right? I'm not gonna put steak, man.
I like everything I eat to be spicy, so I like having that little.
I'm a spice guy as well, actually.
Yeah,
I am too, but not on steak. Not on steak.
Tyler and Harry, what's an Arnold Palmer?
That's a drink.
It's delicious. You need to have.
That's incredible. My wife knows what that is. I don't know what that is.
You didn't hear me? We put it in there. An Arnold Palmer is half lemonade and half iced tea.
But my wife knows what it is. She's born in Scotland. How'd she know that?
Because it's not. I mean, it's really something people have heard of. You don't understand that, and that's how we feel about you with brisket.
Because she's left her room. That's why she knows.
She wants an appearance fee if she comes back. Hey, Matt Golson. Matt from Oklahoma is joining us. Hey.
Guess what I just got?
What'd you get?
Kirk brought me over a brand new iPad Pro.
Oh, very nice.
I'm doing cartwheels around here. I couldn't believe that.
Okay, so here's what now here's what your project is, Matt. Next time, now that you've got that iPad Pro, next time you're going to come on video.
Dude, I can't. I'm ugly, man.
But, oh, come on. We let Tyler come on.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, they have no problem. If you ever feel too ugly, you can hit this button right here.
Yeah.
You can just block yourself.
How do you do that?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, Harry, you need that. I'll show you. You need that one.
No, really. How do you do that?
It's on the first thing, Harry. When you get in there, you have the option to turn on the mic and turn on the camera. At least we do as our little people.
It's probably at the bottom of your screen. Does it not show cam, mic, all that?
It's not in Greek, so I can't understand it. It's not showing me a line in a football game.
Look, the over-under is that it says that on the bottom of Harry's screen.
Oh, I see it.
It's the big thing that says stop cam? Yeah, that's how you stop the camera. You see cam? Harry, cam is short for camera.
Hey, check that out. That's pretty cool. Now I'm African American. Greek. It's close enough.
Stuff like that.
Technology.
So I was in the middle of a Belichick discussion when my kids rudely interrupted with a gift. Did you get past that already?
Well, we can always go back to it, man. Bring it up. What you got?
I was just wondering if anybody actually thought that Cam Newton had a shot.
No.
I mean,
no.
He wasn't good when he was in Carolina, except for 1 or 2 years. And he goes up there.
Hold.
Get benched halfway through the season.
Well, hold on. I don't blame him. Okay, I don't blame him entirely because, first of all, everybody said it before the season started. What the heck? This doesn't seem like a fit. Okay, now and then, second of all, you don't get preseason. You don't get all of that. All the things that we've been saying about Brady and all that. Cam didn't have he had that same situation. All right, and let's be honest, he's Cam, he's not Brady. Okay, so you're putting him into a situation where you have no talent around him, giving him no preseason, and then saying, "Okay, go for it."
I mean, there was a reason Cam wasn't the quarterback of the Panthers anymore, right? Because he wasn't good enough to be the quarterback of the Panthers.
And there's a reason they're paying him in nickels and dimes. Like, I mean, it's not like they gave him
like Tebow, wherever he goes with all his highfalutin man fashion and all that crap that he likes to wear and his attitude and flopping on the sideline.
Tebow, I don't remember Tebow being weird with fashion. Am I wrong?
I'm not saying Tebow was weird. It was the circus that followed Tebow.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere he went, regardless of how right he was, everybody wanted to get on it because he was Jesus, man. He took Denver to the freaking playoffs, and everything that had to go right went right every single time he threw the ball. And one guy went out of bounds when all he had to do, or should have gone out of bounds and worked to stay in bounds on the other team, and Tebow came back on him. It was fun to watch, but then you wanted him to. Nobody wanted to go with all that sideline photography and all of the junk.
But hold on, you're
the same way.
But let me say something. Let me bring this up about Tebow. Okay, Tebow didn't come in and win one game. Tebow led the Broncos that season. Dave, you probably know this. Dave, you probably know the stats on this. Do you know how many games Tebow won?
Not right off the top.
I know that he led the Broncos to a winning record, and then led them into a playoff victory.
In the playoffs.
What's that, Dave?
And a win in the playoffs.
Yeah, and to win in the playoffs.
Tebow was a winner wherever he went. I feel like that guy should have got another chance somewhere.
Agreed.
He didn't look good. He wasn't a pretty quarterback, but he won football games.
This is what I find so amazing, and I don't.
He's won more football games for throwing under 100 yards. I'll put money on it than anybody ever has.
And who cares as long as you're winning, right?
You're winning.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that.
He definitely had the Lord on his side.
Jason, did you see Rick's video of Colin Cowherd? Did you hear any of that?
I did not.
Oh, I was just curious on your take on where you see Bill Belichick as of today.
Oh, where I see Belichick today is, I talked about this with Rick on my show before. I just don't. It's going to be a matter of whether if Tom Brady gets to the Super Bowl or gets to the NFC Championship, we're having the conversation with Belichick becomes, obviously, I mean, we still know it was mostly Brady after this season. I mean, just look at both their records, right? This whole narrative of Belichick can make anything work is not true anymore. It was Brady can make anything work, right? It was not Belichick, I will give him all the credit for being one of the best defensive coaches I've ever seen, because he is. Because even without most of his star players on defense, he's still he's still producing a top 10 defense in the league, probably top 15. So I don't think Belichick. I hate to say that I don't want to give him credit, but it was obviously more Brady than Belichick.
I agree with that, but I still think he deserves a chance.
What was that? What did you say, Tyler?
I was just saying to Jacob what I said earlier. I don't think he's had a fair slate this year, and due to all the people backing out because of COVID, I still think there's another year.
They were defensive. They were primarily defensive.
I'd like to jump in there really quick. I mean, I kind of agreed with Colin, but not really. And I'd love to be on that Tom Brady bandwagon there, and maybe some people might agree with me, but I think this is just a fluke year, and I get it that defensively, and they lost all those players to COVID. But let's not forget, when Brady wasn't playing and you had the Jacoby Brissetts and the Brian Hoyers and everybody else, they were still winning football games. And they were doing them with really, really subpar quarterbacks. And, New England didn't really have a plethora of quarterbacks to really choose from this year.
What is Belichick's record in New England?
I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know.
46%.
Okay, well, that's not a stat, because the stats that I don't look at are things like that. I'm just saying that he has won with inferior quarterbacks, and I'm saying that those two had a 20-year marriage, and for them to say that they could do it without each other, I don't agree with that.
He's doing it.
He's
doing it.
Rick, hang on. Oh, I agree. I was the first one to come on here and say, well, I mean, we all said it, that it wasn't the system. Tom Brady was the system. I took those words before Colin Howard.
Yeah, you did. I remember that very specifically.
But Tom Brady also has an embarrassment of riches that he never had in New England as well.
Without question.
I mean, you look at this roster, it's unbelievable the weapons he gets to choose from. I mean, most of the time your third receiver that you're throwing to, you're hesitant to throw to that guy.
Okay, then let me ask you, Tyler, with what you're saying, let me ask you, if Jameis Winston was the quarterback here, what would the record be?
500.
I think even below it.
Okay, then
you guys have played. I don't think you guys would have beaten Green Bay. I don't think you would have beaten. There's a lot of questionable games there that you won. That
comparing Tom Brady's situation to his situation in New England. Yes, he's dominating this year, but he never had these weapons as well.
And back to Belichick. Let's not forget the whole narrative of right when Jimmy G got traded to San Francisco, Belichick wanted Brady gone earlier than he left.
Yep.
Right.
So the fact that Belichick wanted Brady gone, and you see what Brady's now doing in Tampa, Belichick isn't. We know this though. This is something that we've known that just starting to come into the frontal view now. Of Belichick cannot pick offense. He cannot draft offensive weapons. He can't pick his offense correctly. It's not these nobody receivers that Belichick can bring in and make these Pro Bowl wide receivers. It was Brady can tell them what to do, and Brady can make them and find them. Because guess what? That was all he was working with. And looking at it now, I can't. I hate to argue, but because I just have that deep hatred for Tom Brady for all the fire and the pain that he's caused upon me as a Jets fan. But Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. How can you look at what he's doing now and what he did in New England and what he's doing now with Tampa and not tell me that I don't think there's anybody else that can do that with that success for 20 years.
And let me go along with him. Go ahead, Matt.
If you look at if Brady had been cut because he was too old and they put him Garoppolo, which is basically what Belichick was planning to do. I think he had him all lined up and everything, and then they cut the legs out from under him, and he doesn't have a quarterback now. So how many years is it going to take Belichick to find a quarterback that's some substance that he can work with? Because Cam's not the answer, but like they kept saying last night in the game, the best they're going to do is a 15th pick. There's not going to be anybody there according to the way that they look at the drafts.
I think
it could be Jimmy G if San Francisco lets him go.
Because if Brady had gone to Miami and
I think he's getting Garoppolo. I think he's going to get Garoppolo.
I think this year would be completely different. Obviously, if he has his defense and if he has any quarterback that can throw the ball even a little bit.
The only thing I want to say, Tyler, you brought up. You said, "Well, Brady, it's not fair because he has an embarrassment of riches." Brady partly is the reason he has an embarrassment of riches.
Oh, I agree.
Gronkowski came because of Brady. Fournette came basically because of Brady. Shady McCoy came basically because of Brady. Antonio Brown came because of Brady. Okay, so the thing is this: who was stopping that from happening in New England?
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I'm just saying that I think next year is more of the year that we get to judge where Bill Belichick is without Tom Brady. I don't think it's this year.
That's fair.
If Brady goes and has another 10-6, 11-5 season next year with the Bucs, and Belichick misses the playoffs again, this is a very different conversation.
That's fair.
If the Patriots somehow get Matt Stafford and they go 8-8 and miss the playoffs, then I think we can make a conclusion or come to a conclusion on where this whole argument stands.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that all.
But the one thing the thing I said I agree with Colin the most on is that is valued as Tom Brady was in New England and all the everything that he did get out of New England, he was still undervalued, I believe. I still think that.
Right. And I think that's it's a fair assessment. I mean, I really think that's just about as fair as it gets, is to say, look, he was undervalued. This is Belichick who has not brought in offensive talent you heard Cowherd said
Randy Moss.
I
can't think of a
and he didn't draft him. Again, think about this. So again, did Randy Moss go to play with Belichick or did Randy Moss go to play with Brady? Okay, so I mean
you're right. You're right.
Belichick, you heard it. Belichick in the last 10 years has drafted one offensive Pro Bowler.
I think he's a great player, great defensively. I think he's one of the most overrated GMs ever.
Yes.
Because he runs that entire organization.
Oh, yes. Robert Kraft does nothing. There's no way he does anything for that. Like I can't. I also don't think Jerry Jones does. I think it's his kid who does most of that stuff over in Dallas. I can't. Yeah, I think it's
right.
Stephen Jones.
I don't know about that one. I think Jerry Jones' ego.
Yeah, I think
I think it used to be a lot of Jerry Jones. I don't think it is as much anymore though.
I could see that.
You guys, I got to show you this. I've come to call it the producer's booth or the producer's chair. Okay. I don't know if you saw. I just took a picture next to me. This is the producer of the show.
What a high quality picture for you just taking that next to you.
Yeah, staring at me.
Nice.
Yeah, staring at me, looking at me like what? You don't agree with me either?
He's like, it was all Belichick. It was all.
Like, I was looking at me like, come on, man.
No, I didn't think it was all Belichick, but I think there was a combination between the both of them.
I agree.
And you're right. I mean, he's got a plethora of weapons. I mean, in my opinion, they have 3 Randy Mosses in Tampa. I'm not saying the same type of player, but they have 3 arguably
3 number 1 wide receivers.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't think we can take away as much credit from Bill Belichick as we can possibly take away from Josh McDaniels. Because I don't think Belichick.
I agree with that.
So Belichick. I don't think Belichick has actually had a real call in offensive plays for quite some time in New England.
Yeah.
So
I think
how did McDaniels do?
Right.
How did McDaniels do when he went to Denver?
Terrible.
Belichick
Right.
have a history of producing good offspring out of his tree. I mean, Matt Patricia and Romeo Crennel and all these other guys that went and became a head coach because they were a patriot and they wanted to bring the patriot way into this organization. Every single one of them failed as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Eric Mangini.
Yeah, Mike.
That kind of answers the same question. How many quarterbacks did Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots fleece NFL franchises and thinking that they were getting this superstar?
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's okay. I mean, he's not going to light anybody up with this.
No, he's
arm.
already gone.
Really,
he's already going to be gone.
I know, but think about all the quarterbacks that have played.
Oh, no, I agree with you.
He was under, and then they've gotten first-round picks or second-round picks or whatever the case is, and they never pan out. So it has to be something in the coaching as well.
That's actually a really good
even
point.
if he doesn't, and again, this is merely an opinion, even if he doesn't call an offensive play, he's the leader of that football team, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He holds everybody accountable, all the way down to the guy that washes the clothes and uniforms for people. He's a system coach, and he is a great leader because of the way he keeps his people accountable. And, that's actually saying something. But Tom Brady, he definitely was a significant attribute for the New England Patriots championship runs for all those years.
Yeah.
20 years, guys. That's just incredible. All those Super Bowl
You've got to be a great quarterback. You have to be a great quarterback to do that. Let me point something out here. 2 different stats. Hump Day here says Belichick is 334 and 243 in New England, but check the record without Brady. And the other thing I want to point out is Carl Hardy says Bill will be gone after next year. And Johnny replied with only if he retires.
I was going to say, if he retires, they ain't good either.
Let me throw something out here about that, though. Okay. And I think that this is a reasonable thing to at least question. Look, Belichick is not. He's not the nicest guy, not the most appreciating guy.
Look who he mentored under.
He
for
could
God's
work.
sakes.
Right.
He was a disciple of Parcells.
Job. Right. He could work his way out of that job. And actually, that's a great example, like Parcells managed to.
Mm-hmm.
So could if they have a bad year next year, if New England has a bad year next year, I think Belichick is, if he's not gone, he's on a really hot seat because he's not likable. And that plays into this, like it or not. And he's the guy who's been in control of the roster, and look where it's all ended up. So
it's a disaster.
How's that guy?
How old is he? I mean, he's old enough to retire.
Loves that Belichick guy.
If I were Bill Belichick,
Mike brought up some stats here. Mike, I want you to say them. Don't type them back here. Go ahead and.
Tebow has 16 career starts. He's 9-7, and 7 game-winning drives comebacks.
That's pretty impressive for 9 games.
Right. 7 game-winning comeback drives.
Yeah.
The guy won game. I know it wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun to watch, but he won game. And look, he's not your typical NFL quarterback,
Right.
especially now today's quarterbacks where everybody throws for 350, 400 yards. It was ugly. It was really ugly, but he created plays with his feet, with his legs.
Yeah.
Won football games.
Yeah. And
Have we come to the conclusion now as a football society that running quarterbacks and those kind of running quarterbacks are not sustainable in the NFL?
Hate them. I hate when teams go out and draft quarterbacks that they're drawing up run plays for. They're not going to win. Nobody's shown me that they can win with that. The guys that win, the guys that are really good are your Aaron Rodgers, who run to keep plays alive and buy himself time, Patrick Mahomes. But guys like Lamar Jackson that are just running to run, it doesn't work. Linebackers and safeties are.
Mahomes in year one ran a lot.
He did run a lot.
Okay, and yeah, they didn't do as well, but that's how he survived. What's that?
He tore his knee up. He tore his knee up on a quarterback sneak. I'm sure that they pulled the brakes on him
Right
from that point on.
Right.
And he's the franchise guy.
And that's what I've said. And Peter Blake and I have talked extensively about our belief that somebody was going to catch up with Lamar Jackson. We said it all before this year started.
I said it before last year started. So
This is not college football. Linebackers are too fast in the NFL. They're too
exactly big. Tyler, that's exactly what I said. As I said, you've got people like Devin White who, Levante David, somebody's going to catch him. And there's going to be a hit that's going to change everything.
It's weird that the Ravens don't notice this because they also have Robert Griffin still limping around their locker room.
Right. Also, these are not college coaches anymore either. Give the Steelers one game or give them one more season and they'll figure out Lamar, and Lamar won't do anything against them anymore. It's already starting to happen.
That's been happening. That's what's going on in Arizona as well.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything about Kyler Murray anymore. I don't. I really don't. Is it because he's just having average games now at best?
No, because linebackers they're game planning, and what they're doing is they're not blitzing these teams as much, and they're getting that rush up the middle a little bit more.
Same thing they did with Mike Vick.
They're playing containment. But you know what? With Mike Vick, there's one attribute that Mike Vick had that these other quarterbacks don't. He was a lot better passer.
Now, as a Buccaneers fan, every single Buccaneers fan will have some other things to say about that because early in his career,
comparing him to Lamar Jackson and I'm comparing him to Kyler Murray.
Philly, hold on.
Yeah,
Once Vic got to Philly, he was a different quarterback. After the post-jail, Mike Vick could throw. Okay, the Atlanta Falcons, Mike Vick.
There was nowhere to run in prison. He was locked in.
The Mike Vick the Buccaneers used to lick their chops waiting for that game. And they would make him throw. That Derek Brooks specifically would be a spy. Specifically, his only job was to follow Mike Vick. Mike Vick couldn't run anywhere.
That's what you do to this day.
So many interceptions because Vic would overthrow everybody.
And 20 years later, you can still beat the same quarterback the same way.
Right.
Put a spy on him, it doesn't work.
Right.
And the thing I will say is that Lamar, yes, Kyler's I think he's a very good passer of the football. I think that he throws a very, very accurate football, much more accurate than Lamar. And I think look at a good situation like Russell Wilson. Earlier from 2012 to probably 2018 to 2017, Russ was rushing to attack, right? He can still do it on occasion now, but Russ is playing his best football when he's staying in the pocket or and making these deep throws. Obviously we saw Russ, the whole let Russ cook thing for the first 7 weeks of the season, then started to die out because I think what happened was they started limiting him, which was ridiculous. That was all on
he was probably getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
They said, this probably isn't a good idea to do.
If you have a quarterback that has a good arm and that it can run to escape the pocket to create and buy himself some more time, that's where your money's at. That's what wins football games.
Justin Herbert is a great example.
Yeah.
Huge arm. Josh Allen, huge arm.
Actually, all of this brings up something great, and I have got to break for our mid-commercial. Can you guys hang around and wait for just a few more minutes?
Yep.
All right, we will be right.
Cut loose.
You're going to cut loose. All right,
You guys
Matt.
have a good night.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, Matt.
We will be right back after this. All right, guys, welcome back. I want to share a quick recipe here. Something that I don't know if you guys have ever eaten at a restaurant called Chicken Salad Chick.
Mhm.
I freaking love that place, by the way. But let me add in, this is and everybody can save this and it'll be available later, both in the cookbook and on the Facebook page and stories, Buffalo Chicken Egg Salad. And I will put that back on at the end of the show. I want to bring up some stats here. This is something, it was something I was alluding to earlier that Buccaneers fans can relate to. What you were looking at is all-time win percentage of a franchise.
Oh.
And if you look,
39%.
39% of the games the Buccaneers have won.
Oh,
39%, and the Cardinals are there. Of course, my teams that I like. Look at, but yeah.
Hey there, I'm there too. I'm there too, guys. Hi everyone.
Yeah, you're at least a row up, but yeah, you're at 44%.
Oh, it's not much better.
But you look at how brutal that is, and that's what Buccaneers fans have had to endure.
I wish somebody would have showed me that when I was like 5 years old when I was deciding on a team. They're like, look, you're only winning 4 out of every 10 games at most. I'd have been like, cool. See that team in the top left corner with the green and gold? I think I like those guys.
Hey, Rick, can you bring that stat up again just for a second? Because I had a question.
Yeah.
Okay. On the bottom row, you know what those 4 teams? That's not even a good stat. Never mind. I didn't realize the Cardinals were in there.
You thought it was.
I was going to say some of the newest franchises.
Oh yeah,
would be at the bottom like that. It's not fair to
and go up a row and go up a row. It's not the case there either. So
because Green Bay and Chicago
we've been around a while.
Because Green Bay and Chicago are probably 2 of the oldest franchises in the entire National Football League. As a matter of fact, I'm actually positive about that.
A lot of those teams down there at the bottom still suck this year, though.
Well, and the thing is, like, if you look at the Falcons have been around for 10 years longer than the Bucs have been. I mean, they've been around for 50 plus years. It's not like that's a newer organization.
I never realized the Ravens were that high on the list.
Yeah, the Ravens are always good.
Weren't they the Colts at one time?
No,
that's just the Ravens.
The
beat them
Browns
Baltimore. I'm sorry, the Browns. My mistake. Thank you.
I mean, they had those years. From 2000 to 2012, where they didn't
right.
Like
right. That to me, I thought was that's a pretty interesting
Green Bay Packers, the oldest NFL franchise.
Mhm.
1921.
Yeah.
That
And to have the best winning percentage, that's pretty good.
What's that?
And to be the oldest and have the best winning percentage, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I mean they haven't reverted to the average, which is what you normally do, and they have not done it.
I think one of the first games, someone want to check it. I think it was the Deuce Staley's, which turned into the Bears, and I believe Papa Bear Hallis had them, and they used to play the Packers, and they used to play somewhere. I'm not going to say it was Wrigley Field back then.
Yep.
But it could have been Wrigley Field way back then.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Tom Brady's got to stick around quite a while if we're going to climb to the top of that list.
It's not going to be the top of the list. It would just be an awesome accomplishment to not be at the bottom. I mean,
just pass
Dave, you used to throw this at me, the statistic. You've brought it up to me. I don't know if you can hear me, Dave. Can you hear? Dave, are you there? Dave?
You're muted if you are.
Yeah, Dave, you're muted. Okay. Maybe Dave will come back. I'm not sure what's going on there. Dave, there's a little microphone there to unmute if you're not sure what happened. But all right. So I'm gonna remove Dave because we also have Joshua Cole Allen who's waiting to get in here. If I can get down to Joshua. There we go. Hey Joshua, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? I heard someone say Josh Allen. I was like,
yeah, wrong one.
Say the name 3 times and he pops up.
Hey, what'd you have for dinner?
Pizza and wings.
What
Only
kind
thing
of
missing was beer. This Papa John's cheesy Alfredo was bomb.
Okay.
Never had it before. It was amazing. Alfredo pizza, call it. I'm sold.
I actually love Papa John's.
I'm okay.
And you're from Chicago.
I do. It's weird. So the thing is, I hate Pizza Hut. My wife loves Little Caesars, which is the worst pizza.
Wow.
What? The only thing worse than Little Caesars, sorry, Peter, is Hungry Howie's.
Terrible.
Little Caesars, there's a reason they're $5 because you're
no one eat Domino's.
I eat Domino's.
Domino's is
I call it
I love Domino's.
Anybody from Tampa? You guys, if you're from
Hungry
Tampa,
Howie's is not that bad.
listen, if you're in Tampa and you want pizza, the place to
Fly
go.
to Chicago.
What the place in Tampa to go get pizza is Anthony's coal-fired.
Oh, we have one here too.
Anthony's coal-fired.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
I'm not a
Anthony's.
fan of Chicago pizzas. Leave the deep dish alone. I don't want to.
I don't like deep dish either. I like Chicago thin.
Oh, yeah, I'll do a Chicago thing, but I don't want a
Tyler's like offended over here. He's like, Tyler really didn't like that.
You shut
Tell you
up.
what, when I like a cheese pizza, there's nothing like a New York style cheese pizza. But when I get
we have some
sausage,
good New York places.
but when I get sausage pizza, I gotta have Chicago.
Man, I wish.
Sam and Eddie's
yes,
downtown.
Harry,
Tampa,
yes,
by the
Harry, yeah.
Government.
I wish
building.
Nick was on here though. I wish we could get Nick on here because Nick and I could tell you guys about the best pizza on the planet, and that's in New
Connecticut
Haven.
Mystic.
Yeah,
Nick hasn't been here since like week 8. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
He's coming. He's studying to be a doctor. He's gonna have to call him Dr. Cicho. I hate it.
He doesn't have time to argue with us about Tom Brady. He has to practice saving lives.
I will call him doctor when he calls me champ.
He's not a real doctor. He's gonna be a
He's not a real doctor.
Psychiatrist doctor.
Yeah.
No, those are doctors, man. Those are still doctors. But he's not coming on here. Rick spanked his ass for the season.
Josh, you can't just call out psychiatrists all over.
I know, Josh was like, he's not a real doctor. He's a psychiatrist. They're kind of like wait, why can't I think of what they're who are the back guys? He's like a chiropractor.
He's not a chiropractor.
He's not a real doctor.
He's not a nice
surgeon or
business guy. He's more just talk to you kind of guy.
Yeah, just lay on my couch and talk to me. And I'll charge you $80 an hour.
How long you been feeling this way?
Yeah,
hang
right?
on. Really? How long you? Yeah, okay. As I'm playing tic tac toe.
Yeah.
I found a lot like repeat back to you what you said.
Yeah.
How many psychiatrists have you seen,
you found psychiatrists?
Yeah, how many have you seen?
Just repeat back.
It's just they'll be like,
He's a Jets fan. He's a Jets fan. I got it.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about this. All right, this is live, so we're getting everybody's idea on this. I want to do like an NFL like therapy on my show where I'm gonna have a fan during the offseason, a fan from every single team come onto my show and just express their problems to my face, and I will comfort them emotionally. And then tell them why their team is the absolute worst.
Before we get
tear them to shreds.
Before we get too far off pizza, I got a question. Pineapple on pizza?
No.
My dad is probably in the comments somewhere.
You're about to get like booted off the show just for mentioning it.
Harry, do you like pineapple on pizza?
That's very Canadian.
Yeah.
Are you out of your friggin' mind?
You can do it.
Zero chance.
I will listen. Anybody who says that they will put pineapple on pizza, will you put tomato sauce on your pineapple upside down cake?
I mean,
No.
Because you know what? If that makes no sense to you, then understand pineapple on pizza makes no sense, period.
I had to buy pizzas for the guys, all 26 of them at the shop last week, and I was like, okay, I'm the big spender here. I'm going to go and get you guys Domino's. And
Domino's.
did you know that half of the guys wanted a Hawaiian pizza? I'm like, you guys are.
You could pay for it yourself. That's
no, I went ahead and bought it.
You're fired. You're fired. I can't even let you work in my shop anymore.
Going back to this, how many of you have tried it though?
I've tried it. And I don't like it.
Okay.
I like
have
pineapple
tried it.
bacon.
Look, my dad is here. My dad is here in the comments. My
Not
dad
once,
is here in the comments, harping pineapple on pizza.
Not once.
Yeah.
But
Your
twice
dad
I
is?
tried it.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Hop on. Sit dad down.
No, he's in the comments.
He's not here. He's in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Pineapple
Okay.
bacon pizza is great.
Okay,
Don't
good.
summon him. He won't
Sean.
come downstairs.
What did
Sean,
Joshua say?
Rick,
Sean, I'm going to put up a phone number for you here, Sean,
He's gonna call in
for
He
two
will.
reasons. Number one, I want you to call because we got to talk about this pizza thing. Okay, 678-825-5263. But the other thing we got to talk about is we need stories about Jacob.
And we want to know his grades. We want everything. Make sure you call in.
Joshua.
I don't think he's seen my grades. I don't think he's. Dad, don't look at my grades.
Yeah, I
678-825-5263, Sean.
Oh,
678-825-5263. This could be great.
Hey, this is really going to upset Rick. You know who has a great Hawaiian pizza? Is Hungry Howie's, actually.
I can't stand Hungry Howie's. But I will say Domino's. If you do the Domino's, the handmade crust, well done with pineapple and bacon, that's where it's at.
Tyler, you're this close to being booted off my show.
Hold the plank.
I'm trying to find the ultimate meat pizza.
You're what?
The Illuminati's in Chicago.
Illuminati's is the bomb.
Illuminati's. I
Did-
saw it
wait,
on
wait,
Barstool.
Mike? Hold on. What did you, Mike? What did you say?
He wants the meat pizza.
I'm trying to find the ultimate meat pizza. No vegetables, no shrimp, no brisket. No,
What's this all about?
No, that's fine. I thought you said.
Hey, Rick.
Hold on.
Leave him alone, eh?
We got a caller.
Hi, Sean. How are you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome to What's Cooking in the South.
Hey, Dad.
I'm going mute.
Anything, everyone. Hold on, everybody. Be quiet before we get into this. What'd you have for dinner?
What I have for dinner?
Yes, sir.
I tried to get some of Jacob's steak, but he wouldn't share it.
Well, okay.
Prodigy.
I can respect that. now,
So
Sean.
I had Chipotle.
Okay.
All right.
Are you
So-
making this call from the toilet?
So the question, Sean, first of all, you like pineapple on pizza?
Of course, who doesn't?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced I'm his son. That's why. This is the biggest split in our family.
Sean, would you actually put tomato sauce on your pineapple upside down cake?
It's a cake.
No,
That's not
I don't-
fair.
I don't have to.
Why? What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
No.
Huge. There's a big difference.
No, there's not a difference. It's just one of them you're going, oh, that's terrible. I would never. And yet, but it's the same ingredients.
It's ratios, Rick. It's ratios.
Sean, are you a ham or a bacon with your pineapple?
Huh?
Are you ham or bacon with your pineapple?
Mushrooms.
Oh, okay. That's
pineapple and
He's
mushrooms.
not a big bacon or ham. He doesn't really eat that.
okay. That threw me off for a loop. You lost me at
Think
mushrooms.
about that, Joshua.
You lost me at mushrooms there. I don't know. You're out.
He did say mushrooms and pineapple.
I'm with you, Harry. I'm
Jacob,
with you.
I'm with
Jacob,
you. I like
Jacob,
pineapple on
seriously.
pizza.
You need to have Dad go into your room.
I've got to be adopted. I've got to be.
Have you ever seen any paperwork?
I've not. There's nothing.
I want to tell. This is going to be one of those DNA tests like you see on
Jerry Springer.
On Jerry Springer. It's going to be. He is not your father.
Oh,
Maury's not your father.
Yeah. There we go.
I have yet to take
Sean.
Jacob to Little Italy in New York City before in the Bronx.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you got to do that. Now I got a question for you, Sean. We need stories about Jacob.
Yeah.
We need stories.
Dad, you want to tell the Philly one, the Philadelphia story from January?
Oh, so Jacob begs me to take him to see his. Jacob has a small man crush on Russell Wilson. just letting him.
It's not that small.
As the biggest Jet fan that he is, unfortunately, we lived through their pit of pain together.
Right.
We always have. It's just so depressing.
Now you're a Jets fan, also.
They just build you since I was a kid. They just build you up and then find any way they can to just
crush.
punch you in the gut.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah. Well, listen, Sean, I can relate to you being a Buccaneers fan since I was a child. I can tell you, I much respect for sticking with your team. Absolutely, much respect. I think everybody on this panel can respect that, except for maybe Joshua, because he's a New England, guy.
I got into football in 1996 when the Pats went to the Super Bowl against the Packers, and shortly thereafter it was all nothing but blue skies.
Yeah,
sunny days.
Yeah. Well,
I had like 2 years where I was like,
and oddly, now he's in Tampa. Not chasing championships or anything, is he? But anyway,
they follow me.
But going back to Jacob begged me to go get tickets to the Seahawks Philly game, which everybody I'm sure remembers. Back in
wild card last year,
December.
Yep.
And so during that weekend, he wasn't feeling great, and he said, I bought tickets, and I'm like, you sure you're okay to go? And he says, yes, I'm okay to go. And we're driving down. He's like, Dad, I'm not feeling great, but I'll. And these are playoff seats for Philadelphia. They're not cheap tickets,
Right.
So we go, and pushing ahead. The game hasn't even started yet. And he's like, I really don't feel well. I'm very cold. And so I go and buy a $40, blanket at the stadium.
Right.
All right. And he says, Dad, can you hold me? And I'm like,
oh.
Oh.
That's pathetic.
I'm still 15. I was 15 years old.
It gets so much worse. We left in 5 minutes into the game. 5 minutes into the game.
No, that was like the second quarter, early second quarter. I made it through the.
No, it was more like 7 minutes into the game.
All I'm gonna think of now with Jacob is hold me.
He goes, it really was like, Dad, I'm cold. And he uses, he doesn't really say it like that, but he says, I'm really cold, Dad. Put your arms around him.
Oh, no. In my eyes, he said that. No. Daddy. Absolutely. In my mind, that's absolutely how he said it. So,
there was probably a few 4-letter words in there while I was so cold, too.
There were, but we're gonna keep this PG.
Yeah.
And So keep in mind, we drove 2.5 hours from where we are to the game, and the whole way home, he's passed out, completely passed out. We got in the car, and he's completely passed out. And turns out he had the flu. He
better have.
He had the vid.
I thought I had the vid.
The vid.
Yeah.
Looking back, I think I had the vid.
You better have. I almost
probably
wish
did.
you better have.
I wasn't just like cold and like.
That was a great story. But going back to pizza, Jacob, I think you and your dad need to go to Brooklyn. In particular, there's it's been. I'm trying to remember the place. The name of the place, please write it down. It's called Spumoni Gardens.
Spumoni Gardens.
Yep, and it's absolutely incredible. You can sit down outside and eat, and the
now you can't.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. That's
Well, what's great about it is while you're sitting there eating the pizza, your dad can hold you. It'd be good.
No, but Spumoni Gardens. It's in. As a matter of fact, I know exactly where it's at. It's on Avenue. Anyway, it's in Sheepshead Bay, right there.
Yeah, don't worry if it's cold. Don't worry, your dad will hold you, Jacob.
I got a spot for you guys too. Queens, the Italian Ice King of Corona. I lived by Boston, and I would make drives down to Queens just for the Italian Ice King of Corona. It is amazing. It was actually seen at King of Queens opening. A little too young for you, Jacob, but your dad might know about King of Queens. But yeah, Italian Ice King of Corona. Check it out.
I don't know. I'm sticking. That we've lived up there, and I'm sticking with the with New Haven pizza.
Well, no, that's Italian Ice. It's not.
Ever heard of a place called Connie's Pizza in Chicago?
Very, very much so. I actually worked at Connie's years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
I encourage all of
I
you.
used to flip fives. I come from a family of restaurants.
I encourage all of you to come get Lou Malnati's. That's what
Illuminati's has by far the best pizza in the world. I can't even explain it to you how good it is.
Wow.
Illuminati's, is that place that, like the pizza
Not
thing?
Illuminati's. It's
I know.
Illuminati's.
I'm just kidding.
Lou Malnati's. It's Lou Malnati's.
I know. I seen Barstool did the pizza review of it. He said it was amazing.
There's also a little place in LaGrange. It's not too far away from Tyler's where he was at. This original place was in Cicero. Thank God they moved because you wouldn't want to go through that town now. But it was called Kashani's Pizza right there on LaGrange Road. If you ever get a chance, Tyler, you really need to go. They're really good. Go see Harry. He's the owner. Cassiani's. But it's Kashani's is what we call it. And they have really good Italian ices there too. Beef sandwiches. Oh, God.
What about Portillo's? Do you guys know Portillo's?
Yeah, they're garbage down here.
Yeah, we were Portillo's down in Tampa. It's trash.
I'm telling you, man, the only place to get good pizza in Tampa that I've seen is Anthony's Coal Fired.
No, they have Sam and Eddie's. It's New York pizza. It's downtown by the government building. They fly all their ingredients, their water, their dough, their everything in from New York weekly. Like
they fly their water in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I've seen restaurants do that down here. But that was something that used to happen 20 years ago, Joshua, because they had a hard problem with it because there was so much iron in the water, and that's why. Now, places like New York and Chicago that the water's been through your toilet 20 times already, it has so much chlorine in it, it actually made the dough better. So they don't really have that problem down here as much.
Well, I mean, it's still, for some reason, it still tastes better. I've had people try to be New York pizza that didn't get their water flowing in, or bagels and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. I mean,
have you guys heard of there's a restaurant somewhere that actually has the grease from the restaurant? They've never changed the grease.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's like 100-year-old restaurant, and they never changed the grease.
Oh,
they just, as it cooks away, they add to it.
I bet it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's bomb. There's a place in New York, I can't think of the name of it, but they'll fry whatever you bring in. You bring anything in there, they'll batter it and throw it in the fryer.
That's called the South, man. That's just called the South.
I personally would love to be the spokesperson for that restaurant that hasn't changed in 100 years. I'd say, eat here once a week for 52 times, and you too can have open heart surgery.
Well, yeah, that hasn't changed the grease in 100 years. I mean, they're saying you're literally getting particles of grease from from the beginning of the restaurant.
Tim is in the comments shouting Grimaldi's, shouting from the rooftops. I've never had Grimaldi's, but I've heard great things about it too.
Grimaldi's is a good Chicago-style pizza.
How's the pizza in Charlotte, Rick?
I honestly, you want the
Trash,
honest truth? I have no idea. There's one place someone recommended to me near Charlotte that that looked good, but yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you much about restaurants or anything here.
I've always wanted to get to Philly for like the original cheesesteak. Jacob, you probably weren't there long enough to do it, but
he was curled up in a blanket.
Those Amorosa rolls, the way they do them in Philly and in South Jersey, it's unbelievable.
I don't know. I work. Two of my buddies I work with, they're from Philly, and they say those steak shops are just like overrated. It's a tourist trap.
Yeah.
Like the real place where you find the good steak and cheeses are the little bodegas. They call them poppy stores in Jersey, but they're bodegas pretty much.
When I was in Philly, however many years ago, I got really sick from a Philly cheesesteak. I just got had PTSD from it ever since.
And I don't like the cheese whiz.
Why are all these stories about Jacob getting sick?
It's in Philly. No, it's in Philly too. Me and Philly just don't get along.
Apparently.
Give me the provolone or American.
I got a question for Sean.
Okay.
Sean, other than the Jets, okay, everybody's got a team that, when I say second favorite, here's a team you kind of like, even though it's not your team. Who would that be?
I go with Jacob. Jacob has a favorite, a second and third favorite, but I kind of swing with that too. Seattle and Indianapolis. He's always had a love for those two teams.
Okay, and same with you?
Yeah, same with me. Seattle has always been a fun team to watch.
They were going back to the very beginning. Yeah.
I mean, I grew up. Listen, we all grew up with watching Peyton and watching, and those guys. Listen, I also grew up watching Dan Marino beat the crap out of the Jets.
Yeah.
You gotta love the All-Stars.
So you get to settle the debate here.
Oh boy.
This is all on you. This is 100% on you. Is it Belichick or Brady?
I think it's really a combination. I think Brady
Thank you.
Is really the best, but Belichick is a mastermind. He always has been. They're the plays he comes up with, these guys execute them.
Then how come he's 46%? He has a 46 winning percentage without Brady.
Let me tell you right now, it's because Belichick.
Some of these players can't execute the game plan the way he wants them executed.
Who brings in the players?
No. Listen.
No, hold on, Joshua. Hold on.
I have firsthand experience of this.
Joshua, hold on. So does Sean. Now, Sean,
I mean, not really. Belichick left him at the altar.
Joshua, I'm going to kick you out of here, man. Now, listen, Sean. My thing is this: he's got a 46% win percentage without Brady. All right. To me, and you say, well, he doesn't have the players. Okay. Who's in charge of bringing the players in?
He's one of them, but you also have a GM. He
is the GM.
Well, which brings me to my point. Belichick the coach versus Belichick the GM. Belichick the GM is slipping. He's not as good as he used to be. Belichick the coach is still great.
And on a lesser scale, Bill O'Brien, the GM, got Bill O'Brien, the coach, fired. It's sometimes that just doesn't work. You can't do both. And Belichick is a better coach than he is GM. So I don't know, but
I just don't know when Belichick was ever a good GM.
Right.
He's not.
But we all listen.
Of course he is.
Listen, Brady is the best. He's the best of all time. I mean, you have your seconds and thirds and fourths now, and before. There's a long list of them. But Brady is Brady. How many game winning drives has he had?
What about Dungy saying he's the sixth?
A minute 30 left.
What about Dungy saying he's the sixth best quarterback?
Tony Dungy had 6'5" quarterback.
Yeah, Tony Dungy said Brady is the sixth best quarterback
in the league of all time.
No, that he's had a game plan against. Say the whole context.
No.
This is the whole thing that he had a game that he had to go up against.
Okay.
He's the sixth best. he's the sixth best quarterback this year?
No,
Or
I guess they're saying that the question was asked who are the which quarterbacks, where does Brady fit when it comes to quarterbacks you had to game plan against, and he called him sixth.
He said it. He said it because he said Brady, the other guys that he ranked ahead of him were all mobile quarterbacks and had that extra attribute that he had to watch out for. Well, Brady is, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He said that he's always number 2 to Peyton, no matter what. But the extra mobile factor.
Oh, he's number 2 to Peyton, except for championships.
Well, we won't listen. The game has changed. How many quarterbacks can legitimately stay in the pocket today and get away with it? Just in general.
I don't know one.
I mean, you've seen
Brady.
pocket quarterbacks. How many are left?
Brady.
I
mean, you can't say not Brady.
That's about
Brady,
it.
one of them, Drew Brees, and the Mahomes. Yeah.
No, Roethlisberger and Aaron Rodgers and Philip Rivers. Those are the only ones I can think of.
And Phil Roethlisberger is not as good as people think. He's my opinion. I don't.
Rodgers can move.
He's a B-rated quarterback.
I can say Rodgers can move with his legs a little bit. I would say that's that you can really pinpoint.
Who's the last?
Roethlisberger. He's not as.
Yeah, who's the last quarterback to come into the league that's a pocket passer?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's an interesting question.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess kind of. I guess Joe Burrow kind of is, but he moves too.
He can. Yeah, he's still got moves.
He moves.
No, he's no. I think that's actually a good call. I think that's actually a good observation.
He can get out and scramble and pick up like Tom Brady.
Only because he's young.
Harry.
Only because he's young.
Well, I mean,
when Brady was young, he moved.
No, he didn't.
Not quickly.
No, I mean he did juke out. He did juke out Brian Urlacher there, Harry.
Yeah,
I do remember that game. That was back in 2008.
Yeah,
but he's always been slow as molasses since the combine.
Is this what they're teaching the kids in college now to move? Right? Yes. I mean, they're coming from somewhere. I mean,
well, they're just choosing different athletes. I mean,
the new teaching.
Well, defensive ends and outside linebackers are got bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
And you're going against. I mean, especially in the SEC and places like that, you've got only so much limited talent at the outside tackle positions that if you get one of these generational or all-star type defensive ends, you need someone that's going to be able to move around.
Does Trevor Lawrence move around a lot?
Like I kind of see him similar to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He's another guy that runs to keep plays alive. He runs to expand the pocket and move the ball, but they're not going to draw plays up for him.
No.
Right. Okay. So he's not. Yeah. I mean, Lamar Jackson.
And when I say they're not, I mean the Jags because the Jets lost.
Oh, I was waiting for it, Tyler.
Wow. That just hurt me too. You should. I mean,
Tyler,
you did not want to be in our home when the Jets beat the Rams. I mean, Jacob was devastated.
Yeah, we got him on the show that night, and it was awesome.
Coming
from New England, I felt bad for the Jets.
I wish I could have taken video of him just, cursing Adam Gase.
Oh, you can anytime you want. Please, by all means, feel free to take that video, and I'll give you my email address. Just ask.
All season he's been saying we need to fire him. He's a jackass. He's awful. He needs to go. I mean, every week, and it was wonderful to watch because he was like, "We're doing well. We got what we wanted. We're getting Trevor. It's going to be a whole new team." And then I said, Jacob, it's not done yet. I kept telling him. And it really, what I kept saying was, Jacob, it's the Jets. They'll find a way to just really hurt you.
So is it safe to say that everybody was running around the house in the fourth quarter going, Jets.
Did you happen to see, Sean, did you see the statistic I put up just a little bit ago? All of the teams' win percentages over their existence. Yeah. So the Jets, you guys, you're not that. I mean, you're bad. To be honest, you're bad, but you're not that bad.
Better than the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, you're better than the Falcons, the Jags,
worse than the
Cardinals, and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are the worst in the league.
27th out of 32 is pretty bad.
I can't even look at the Jacksonville Jaguars logo anymore without getting angry.
Where's the Dallas Cowgirls in there?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh, there they are.
Number 2.
Yeah, that's appropriate. Dallas should be in number 2.
Especially this year. I just want to go back to the Bill Belichick thing. Bill Belichick is considered the best coach of all time, or at least one of them.
And
Nowhere in there said he's the best GM.
No, I was saying last week, Jacob walked around with the Jacksonville jersey. He said he put it on. He was going to root for Jacksonville this week and against Chicago.
It didn't go out because any team I root for just loses. It's annoying. It's
I think every Bucs fan has felt that feeling.
I started having just a little bit of hope for maybe my Colts to do something. And Andrew Luck retires. Like the offseason, I started rooting for the Colts. Like the offseason, I was like, I love the Jets still, but like I need a team that might actually win. And I love Andrew Luck, and then he retires. And I'm like, it's just, I'm telling you, there's a curse or something. Like I can't do it. It's bad.
So tell us, Jacob, Andrew Luck or your boy from Seattle? Which one is it?
Okay. This is I
You can only have one now, Jacob.
I know.
There's only one man crush allowed.
You broke the little boy.
Like the Bachelor. I'm gonna have to give the rose to Russell. Russell Wilson's my favorite football player of all time. Like honestly, like he is. It's either Russ or Darrelle Revis. Like there's not much debate up there for me, but I have to give it to Russ. I love Andrew Luck, and like he was my guy, but Russ over everyone for me.
Oh, this is an interesting question for everybody. Jacob, I'll start with you.
Sure.
Other than a team that you like,
yes.
Okay, any other team, they can be a neutral team or a team you really don't like. Who is your favorite player in the NFL?
Right now?
Yeah. Off of teams that you like, other than teams that you like.
Or forget the Jets and forget Seattle.
I'm going to get to all of you, so be thinking.
Of all time or active right now?
Active right now.
Okay.
Oh.
Sean, do you have one?
He's gonna say Jamal Adams because he hates him.
You got to go through each team.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I mean, there's got to be a player that kind of.
Who do you enjoy, Jacob? Really, who do you enjoy watching when if the game is on? Who do you Hey, this guy's playing.
I like this guy. Yeah,
I guess how I would look at it.
I mean, I guess
Mahomes.
I love watching Mahomes.
I know who you like. I definitely know who you like.
You tell me.
You got a thing for Alvin Kamara.
Okay. Kamara is because I drafted him way too high in 2018 in fantasy football, and he worked out for me then, and I drafted him this year, and he worked out for me now.
What about you, Sean?
Forgetting fantasy, I guess, right? Probably Deshaun Watson.
No, I said, what about Sean?
Oh.
What?
Listen. I enjoy watching those strong pocket quarterbacks. So you have if Drew Brees is playing, I enjoy watching him.
Yeah.
He's just fun to watch. The passes that he makes, and it's impressive.
At least it used to be
impressive.
Yeah. What about you, Harry?
I hope nobody of my friends are watching this tonight. Dalvin Cook.
Okay. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Okay, that's a good one. Joshua.
Derrick Henry is great.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is great.
Okay.
Derrick Henry and Aaron Donald. Those are two great players to watch. And Travis Kelce. This guy's just an animal.
Yeah. I'll throw Myles Garrett in there.
Oh yeah, Travis Kelce. And Patrick Mahomes too. He's fun to watch.
Okay. Tyler?
Way to move.
Mine's Derrick Henry, and I actually have two. Derrick Henry because I still love like old school smash mouth football. I love
stiff arms.
I miss like the 2000 to 2008 running game football where everything had a
So do I.
I think Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. The way he makes receivers look is ridiculous. But going back to teams, my second favorite team of all time is the Chiefs, simply because you guys remember Dante Hall and like Eddie Kennison,
Yes.
Priest. I love
Priest
that.
Holmes.
Okay.
Well,
Mike.
Probably Aaron Rodgers. I hate to admit that because I hate the Packers.
But he's so good.
Yeah, he made it look so easy.
Of all time, if we were going all time, I'd either go with Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, or Troy Polamalu. Those are three. I love those guys.
Brett
You know
Favre.
what's interesting? There's back in the day, you might say somebody like Lawrence Taylor, or I mean, there were defensive players you could bring up that you loved to watch, and you don't. There aren't any defensive players that you look at and say, "Wow, it's one of my favorite people to watch."
So for
Aaron Donald for me.
Got
He's an animal.
Jacob got to meet Wesley Walker last season.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So for me, if I was to go all time, it's hard for me to say the one guy I want to say because I have very vague memories of him. But it's I like my favorite highlight tape to watch is Barry Sanders.
Oh my gosh, that guy. That there are not words for how good of a running back he was.
But if I had to pick somebody that I got to see, I agree with Jacob. It's Ed Reed. But Barry Sanders that dude was on him. He's to me the best running back of all time.
You know what, Rick? I'll throw it in there that'll make you happy. Mike Alstott.
Yeah. There you go. Jacob.
My all-time favorite was Walter Payton.
Well, gee, imagine that. But Jacob got educated the other day on Mike Alstott.
Brett Favre was awesome. I loved watching him.
I watched that show. I watched the video.
Oh, did you?
Show.
Yeah.
Harry, who is your top-ranked running back of all time? Is it Walter Payton?
No, he already said it.
It is my favorite player.
Top
ranks. My top ranked, there was a combination of three of them. Very short career, 2 short careers, and 1 very long career. It's tied between the three. Gale Sayers. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, please don't say Emmitt Smith.
No, Gale Sayers, Walter Payton, and who we're just talking about from Detroit, Barry Sanders. I think when the good Lord created a running back, they chiseled those 3 bodies and says, okay, do it. Gale Sayers and Barry Sanders were very similar type of running backs. I don't think Gale Sayers ran as hard as a Walter Payton, but he ran as hard as Barry Sanders.
Let me ask you this.
Barry Sanders was very similar to a Walter Payton.
Harry, is that a Midwest bias? And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Let me be clear about this. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because those are 3 phenomenal running backs. But I noticed you picked them all from the same division, and it just happens to be the division that your favorite team is in.
No, not necessarily because, well, then again, Adrian Peterson was a real hell of a running back as well. I mean, what the man did from before, I mean, he was very elusive. But when you're talking about the all-time greatest, I'd have to say Gale Sayers, Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton. And you can juggle it and put it any way you want. Yeah. But I mean, there's only a couple people on the show besides, it's actually just you and I that actually remember Walter Payton.
Yeah.
If anybody ever wants to YouTube it,
Mike remembers Payton.
I implore you, Jacob, to take a look at some of the Payton highlights. And a matter of fact, personally, look at the 1977 season and just put up highlights. You talk about a terrible football team. Mm-hmm. That was a time when the Bears organization implemented a game plan that there were going to be 40 plays ran for Walter Payton, and the defenses knew it. Left, middle, right. Just look at those plays. It was sick, absolutely sick.
Oh, I agree with something Tim Witherspoon just said.
Okay, I see that.
Bo Jackson.
Absolutely, I agree with this.
Here's my thing with Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson's one of my favorites.
Wow.
Bo Jackson is one of my favorite athletes of all time. And I think that I love his story, but I don't think wasn't he like not like in terms of actual football like the greatest running back?
No, he was phenomenal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Sean?
Stats like no, I don't know. Something about his stats, maybe. I don't know.
What about you got players like not running backs, but you have Emmitt Smith as a running back. He was solid. I remember watching him just destroy teams. But greatest players, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Joe Brown, all these guys.
Yeah.
I remember watching these guys when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Bo Jackson, I think, is the biggest freak of an athlete that.
He was a monster. There was I think I watched a 30 for 30 on him, I think. And it was.
He ran over Bosworth and just ended Bosworth's career.
Oh.
I mean.
Who are you guys' favorite triplets? I'll tell you mine real quick. I loved watching
my old neighbor.
Aaron Brooks, Deuce McAllister and Joe Horn play. I
There were
love
these
those
three girls
guys.
that were in Playboy back in 19. No, I'm kidding.
Who's your favorite running back, wide receiver, quarterback combos that you guys like watching play?
Oh,
Oh,
I like
Favorite-
those
what was that?
Saints.
What was the
Running
question?
back, quarterback, wide receiver combo. You
That
obviously
have
have, you have
to
the
be
famous.
that would have
triplets.
to been the St. Louis Rams with Kurt Warner.
Marshall Fall.
okay.
Marshall
I mean, okay, I'll give mine. I mean, Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, Marshawn Lynch. That's probably. I mean, I love that.
Marshawn Lynch is absolutely fun to watch in his prime. Later now, he's not as. Was it last year, Jacob, that he played? The year before?
Yeah, he came out for like the playoffs.
Like a couple of games.
I think if you go back to some of the old Raiders teams, you had some phenomenal, like back during the Marcus Allen days.
Mhm.
You would have had, you'd be hard pressed during Marcus Allen's peak of his career to find. I mean, you had wide receivers there like crazy. That was sort of the Al Davis thing.
Who's your favorite to watch, though, Rick?
My favorite running back to watch?
No, who's your favorite triplets to watch?
Well, other than the Bucks, you're saying, right?
Other than your team, yeah.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, probably I'm just honestly, I'm gonna have to think about that. By the way, I had a personal conversation with Jacob Charnow the other day off the air, and he told me his favorite running back ever is Frank Gore.
Of course, a beast.
Hey, Rick, with all due respect, 5 a.m. comes really early for me. I really appreciate you having me.
No, you have a good night, Harry.
Good night, gentlemen.
See you, Harry.
Harry.
Hey, Joshua, another great triplet combo was Edgerrin James, Peyton Manning, and Marvin Harrison.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
really good one.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
a wonderful combination.
Yeah, that's an excellent one. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? You mean you're not throwing in
Philip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, and whoever was wide receiver on that team.
Antonio Gates.
It doesn't
You
matter
can count
who it was.
Antonio Gates.
Because LaDainian Tomlinson was sick too.
Amazing.
here's one.
Yeah.
Joe Namath, Curtis Martin, and Keyshawn Johnson.
They had to play together at the same
Yeah,
time.
they had to play together.
The Jets dream team.
For some reason, they weren't the best, but Aaron Brooks, Deuce McAllister, and Joe Horn, I thought were just fun to watch.
Even being a Bucks fan, I was a Deuce McAllister fan. I liked him.
Love Deuce McAllister.
What about whoever was the running back on that Deshaun Kaiser 0-16 Browns team? What,
Oh, jeez.
Was there an 0-16 Browns team?
2017. That there was the 0-16, the Hugh Jackson years. It was just the 0-16 and then 1-15.
What was that? Sean, what did you say?
Who was the quarterback on that 0-16 Browns team?
I think it was Deshaun Kaiser.
Like 12 of them.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer probably was on there at some point.
Brian Hoyer's been everywhere.
Brian Hoyer.
Remember when Peyton Hillis was like the next big running back for
A season.
It was on the Madden cover.
Yeah.
There are so
did
many
get
of
the
those
Madden
guys. There are so many of those guys that you think of that were like the next big thing and then gone.
Eddie
loved watching Clinton
Lacy. Eddie Lacy ate himself out of the league. I don't know.
Yeah.
Clinton Portis was a great running back to watch, too.
Oh yeah, he was fun.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I think my favorite running back to watch, and I would probably say this. I would probably say this even if I was not a Bucks fan, is Mike Allstott. Just the way that he ran the ball was.
I mean, ran over people with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a full career of Christian Okoye. But if Christian Okoye could catch, and I mean, Okoye just only ran over people.
My favorite prime running back to watch was Adrian Peterson. That dude was.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's a combination of every running back you.
Yeah,
do you guys have a favorite? Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite like draft bust? Like someone you were so excited to watch in the draft and he just did not pan out like you wanted to?
I don't know if you call him favorite, but some guy, Chad Jackson out of Florida, for me, Florida Gators, second round pick from the Pats. I loved him. Got his jersey and everything, and then bust.
Yep, I agree with you.
Ryan Leaf.
Yep. Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
All right, you beat me to it.
Christian Hackenberg.
What about Jamarcus Russell? Remember they sent him
Oh, Jamarcus Russell. I didn't like Jamarcus Russell in college, so I can't say that. Let's add Johnny Dean, the professor, to this. Hey, Johnny.
Russell home with fake
Oh,
games.
guys, go on, guys. I can't believe nobody's mentioned the Bills triplets from the Jim Kelly era.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh yeah, Thurman,
Kelly Thomas,
Thurman Thomas, man. Oh,
and gosh, they had several receivers.
yeah, they did.
who was the big one though? Dyson? Is that Andre
No.
Dyson?
I can't even remember his name, man. He was amazing. Isn't he the one that forgot his helmet, lost his helmet?
Yeah, that was Thurman Thomas.
Okay, and then
I can't think of the receiver's name. There were several.
Jeez.
Andre Reed. It was Andre Reed.
Andre Reed, yeah, that's it.
Andre Dyson was the Titans with Eddie George and Steve McNair.
Right. No, that's absolutely. That's a good.
That is a good one. I mean, no one mentioned the Cowboys, but I mean,
as far as running backs go, I like longevity, and those guys that have longevity in a position that has a career average of 3 or 4 years. Those guys are amazing to me. Like Walter Payton with his 13-year career.
What about guys who left, who were gone too soon from the league?
Calvin Johnson.
That's who I was going to.
Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor's the best, like athlete. Like he's the best, one of the best football players I've ever seen. So is Calvin Johnson, obviously.
Oh yeah,
Sean Taylor. That was so unfortunate.
Barry
Sanders.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's some Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Andrew
Sean
Luck.
Taylor. That
Andrew
was
Luck.
awful.
Yeah, Andrew Luck.
Sean Taylor was a freak.
Yes, first ballot.
Anybody buying into the rumors that Luck might come back?
No. He is the happiest person in the world not playing football right now. Everything I'm hearing from everybody is that he never wants to come back to play football.
I promise we're going to hear that rumor for the next 5 years.
It was like, for any wrestling fans out there, it was like the constant hope that CM Punk would come back to WWE at some point, and he just
every year we heard Gruden was coming back to coach.
CM Punk.
See, I had that opinion too until Gronk came back. And Gronk was the happiest person ever doing his game shows and all that stuff. And then here he comes.
Isn't it? You know what, Johnny? In it's an amazing thing that, and you brought this up in preseason about Gronk. When you came on and you read a menu, a list, it was this long laundry list of injuries and surgeries that Gronk had experienced. And Johnny, I was on board 100% with what you were saying. There's no way Gronk is going to last a season.
Exactly.
He hasn't even lasted the season. He's like, he looks healthy. He says he feels better than he ever has in a football season. And he's back to Gronk. And it's amazing to see.
It's amazing what a little bit of time off and enjoyment can do for a guy.
Yeah, if he wasn't getting the comeback player of the year, I mean, he would have if it weren't for Alex Smith. I mean, Alex Smith is that's signed.
That might be the greatest comeback probably ever. Like there is, I mean, the dude almost had one leg. Like there was no.
Historically, I can't think of anything that beats that, man. I can't.
He's got a comeback player locked up for like the next 2 years.
You know what? You know what? The comeback player of the is next year is going to be crazy. You have Saquon, you have Dak. You like there are a lot of options.
Oh yeah,
Burrow.
Yeah.
I think everybody expects them to come back. I don't think anybody expects Alex Smith to come back.
It's got to be somebody that you think is done, and then they come back and,
I'm telling you, Alex Smith is going to win it next year, too.
Next year, too. Like last year, I thought it was going to be JPP. He didn't get comeback player of the year, did he?
I'm picturing
breaking his neck and coming back.
I'm picturing Frank Gore at some point on the Buccaneers, and he's got a walker. And he's
and still getting 100 yards.
Adam Gase is the coach of Adam Gase is an assistant coach for the Bucs, and he's giving him 34 carries a game still.
Yeah, but
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
He's fired.
Listen, you gotta.
I have a general question.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean's still there.
Situation in Miami. I don't understand it. If someone can please.
Okay.
Just
let me.
what's happening there.
Well, here's what's happening. I think they know. And if anybody has a differing opinion on this, please pipe in. But I think they know Fitzpatrick gives them the best chance to win now. They also know that they think they've found a formula on how they can still sort of work Tua a little bit and not lose his confidence and not have him worried about losing his job permanently because he knows it's his job in the long run. And I think that they've juggled it well to where, I mean, it's literally, let's put him out there. And if we need, if we need to bring in the relief pitcher, we will.
Exactly. You put in the best 11 players to win the game. At that point in the circumstance, Fitzmagic was the best person to try to win that game for them.
Actually, Steve Spurrier has become the director of football operations there.
Where?
No, that's a joke, man. In Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Remember him switching out his quarterbacks?
It seems to be lighting up every team. He just does. And Tua doesn't. And Tua just doesn't.
Listen, I think Fitz is the most underappreciated player of today.
I feel like Tua hasn't been fully unleashed, though. Whether that's because of the weapons not being healthy or the line, or they're just kind of playing it safe with him. I don't think that he has been fully unleashed in that offense. I think you'll see that next year.
Fitzpatrick, what they did with Fitzpatrick, or a meme that I saw, which I think was absolutely accurate, when it showed Fitzpatrick getting his head almost ripped off during that 56-yard pass completion, and it said, if Mahomes did this, that everybody would just canonize him immediately and say it was, the most amazing thing anybody's ever done and blah, blah, blah. Fitzpatrick does it. And it's like,
okay, that's Fitzpatrick.
It's magic. It's like, it's going to happen.
And the thing is, look, there's no way somebody asked, and I brought this up the other day on stupid stuff Bucks fans say, should Fitzpatrick be in the Hall of Fame? Of course not.
No.
But I believe he is just an extremely underappreciated player. And if that guy, can you imagine? I mean, I will tell you this would make me happier than almost anything in the league, other than the Bucks winning the Super Bowl. The next thing, most happiest I would be, is to watch Ryan Fitzpatrick win a Super Bowl.
I think Miami's actually, the coach, Flores, is actually giving him his kudos by bringing him in like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was a totally winnable game for Tua,
Right.
But, there was such fallout about him pulling Fitzpatrick and putting Tua in the first place. I think you're just doing that to give Fitzpatrick a pat on the back and say, "Yeah, man, you're still valuable to us." And that's only part of it. That's only part of the reason. I don't think that's the whole reason they're doing it.
Right.
I could see that.
Jacob?
I could see them bringing Fitzpatrick back next year.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if they'd have left it the way it was, he wasn't going to come back. He'd have left just like he did the Bucks,
Right. Christopher Cole says Fitzpatrick is a ticking time bomb. I agree, but so by the same token, Christopher, you could always say the same thing about Favre.
Fitzpatrick's headed to New England.
What's that?
Fitzpatrick's probably headed to New England.
Oh, wow.
They'll draft a young guy, maybe. They'll draft a young guy and have Fitzpatrick there. If they don't get like a Stafford or anything like that, that's probably where he's headed.
Great fit. That's a great fit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It is.
Under Belichick with his regime, I think Fitzpatrick's been more play loose kind of guy.
So did Cam.
McDaniels will be gone.
Yeah, exactly. You brought in Cam.
Yeah. But Cam was supposed to come in as a starter in a season where there was nobody to pick from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to put Hoyer. They're not going to bring Hoyer back. So, I mean, Fitzpatrick as a backup to mentor another quarterback. And plus, Fitzpatrick needs it to add to his teams that he's played for list.
Yeah, I think Garoppolo's going to get there. I think Garoppolo's going to
I think he'll get Garoppolo back. But
yeah.
So where is Matt Stafford going? He's going somewhere.
I like him in Washington, and no one else does. And
I just don't think anybody else cares about Washington. I think Washington's one of those weird teams that it's like
they've got enough going on for them right now.
Well, Washington's definitely going to draft another quarterback.
Oh, Ron Rivera is definitely taking somebody.
Let's go back to the Dolphins. If you were the Dolphins, would you consider bringing Stafford in? Because you're kind of winning now.
No, you got Tua in the 5th overall pick. You're not gonna do that.
Tua, Fitzpatrick, and
oh, you know what my Fitzpatrick prediction was? I think he could go to the Bengals. I think the Bengals could rent him if he's not ready to go. If Burrow's not ready to go week 1.
Yeah, is Haskins done?
Yeah, Haskins is done. Haskins is going to go be PJ Walker in the XFL.
I see the Dolphins grabbing Justin Fields or Zach Young or something before they would bring in Matt Stafford.
But if you bring in Stafford on like a 1-year deal, 2-year deal,
he's not going to take that. He won't take that.
No. I got an interesting question.
He's under contract too. They're not going to cut him. They're going to trade him.
Okay, I'm going to make everybody's butt pucker for a second because I'm going to bring up something that's very, very controversial, but I'm going to say this. If Haskins was a white quarterback, would he get a second chance?
No. He'll get a second chance.
No.
I don't think
so. No one wanted him on that
Menzel got
rookie deal.
A second chance. Menzel got second chance.
Well, Haskins was on his second chance. Remember, they fired a coach over him already.
He's going to get a second chance. There's nobody wanted that rookie contract.
He'll be signed by the end of the year.
Who's playing for the Rams this week? Who's playing for the Rams this week?
I don't know. I think I could see
Christian Streeter or something like that.
Who is playing for the Rams?
They signed Blake Bortles. That was what I saw.
Christian Streeter?
Yeah, but he's going to back up whoever it is that's starting for.
It's like Sylvester or Streeter or
yeah,
something.
Sylvester. I think that's it.
Joshua, I thought you said AC Slater.
AC Slater, yeah. Bring in Mario Lopez. He's already out in LA anyways.
So I think it's an interesting question, though. I don't think it's an unfair question to say.
I think he's already got a second chance, and I think he was so boneheaded with the decision he was making over COVID.
I don't think he got a real second chance. I don't think Ron Rivera ever wanted him as a quarterback.
Also, second chances right now during this time of COVID, when with the things that he did, is not. It's a lot different than what Menzel was doing. I think because Menzel actually had a problem. Haskins is just an idiot. So I
supposedly the story was he wasn't at a strip club.
That's awesome.
Kaepernick had a chance.
The story is he wasn't at a strip club, that his girl invited strippers to her house. That's supposedly the story. Either way, not a smart.
So he just made his house a strip club. And
either way, he's not on the team anymore. So that's
a lap dance is a lap dance in
COVID. Right.
I have a question though. Say the Colts don't make it to the playoffs. What happens to Philip Rivers?
Carson Wentz. Oh, he'll retire. I honestly think he's on. I don't think he has a lot of football left in him. I think the Colts do go after Carson Wentz this offseason.
Why is everybody saying Philip Rivers is?
He's got 300 children to support, man.
Yeah, he needs some game checks.
I don't understand why everybody's saying Philip Rivers is so done when the Colts are.
I think they bring him back.
I think the Colts. It feels
Carson Wentz does feel.
Everybody's acting like he's having this terrible year. Is he?
No, he's not. He's not. But I think you look at. I think that Carson Wentz. I think that if Frank Reich is looking at it and he's like, "Listen, I could have Carson Wentz, who I almost made, who would have been my MVP as when I was the offensive coordinator in Philly in 2017, his rookie year. I think I could fix Carson Wentz to where he can be the quarterback of this team for 4 or 5 years at least." Versus Philip Rivers, who's just a rental with this really young team. I think Wentz would fit this team a lot better than Rivers does, and I don't think that Chris Ballard doesn't see that. He's a very open-minded general manager, and I think that Carson Wentz is a guy who they could bring in because if they cut Philip Rivers, they're not paying Jacoby Brissett next year, and they could absolutely afford some of that Carson Wentz contract.
When has Carson Wentz been reliable enough to throw your eggs in his basket like that?
Carson Wentz feels like a very John Elway move to me.
I think John Elway takes a chance on someone like Sam Darnold.
Now, that feels like the John
Elway move. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
I agree with him.
Yeah. Now, just to send shivers down Jacob's spine. Did anybody see? Did anybody see Sam Darnold's run this week where he just
laying out the linebacker? He just
that was freaking awesome. I like the guy.
I love Sam, and I feel it sucks that he can't succeed. Okay, here's my thing with that. It's easier to take a guy with your new coach that he can develop versus a guy that needs to be fixed. and I hate it. I want to see Sam go somewhere and win a Super Bowl because he's it's hard not to root for him because if you look at clips from like when he was drafted versus now, his confidence is gone. He has nothing left, right?
Yeah.
I would be okay. I would see him go to a Pittsburgh. I would see him. I think they're going to send him to the NFC, honestly. And a team that I really like for him is the Minnesota Vikings, and that's is because he thrives in play action. He's really good outside of the pocket, and Kirk Cousins sucks.
Detroit.
Kirk Cousins
Detroit's
sucks.
going to need somebody.
Oh God, please don't send Sam Darnold to Detroit.
That was my next question. What about Pittsburgh?
I like Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh and Indianapolis.
I mean, in terms of Ben Roethlisberger, is he done? Is he?
No, he's got another year or two left in him.
Yeah.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm not bringing him back. Honestly,
Mike also would have made the Angry Runs segment on Good Morning Football every week. That's right, Tim. He would be on Angry Runs every week. Mike Allstott like almost invented the Angry Run. David Whitescarver says Jamarcus Russell, arguably the biggest bust ever. I think that's hard to argue. It's him or Ryan Leaf. I mean, either or.
Speaking of Mike Allstott, there was a clone of one of the other. I guess he came first, but Riggins.
No,
Riggins was very fun to watch.
But Riggins didn't catch the ball like Allstott.
No, I'm talking about as far as fun to watch.
Yeah.
His runs were mad crazy, man.
Yeah, they were. Tim Witherspoon, I like watching Danny White because he was in dual threat as a punter. So was Randall Cunningham. Doesn't Randall Cunningham still hold the record for longest punt?
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. It's like Randall Cunningham has like a 90-yard punt. I'm not kidding. Look that up.
I remember he had that, but I thought that record had been broken or something.
No, I think he has the record for the longest punt in the NFL.
Wow, he's held that a long time then.
Yeah. Yeah, a 90.
Steve O'Neal.
What's that?
98 yards.
98?
Steve O'Neal, 98 yards.
Wow.
And what team did he play for? The New York Jets.
How about that? 98-yard punt.
1969.
Was that like a?
That was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, what about in the Super Bowl era?
No, that was the year we won the Super Bowl.
That was Super Bowl one.
Here's it, Rick. You'll like this, Rick.
Was that not 3? I could have swore we won the Super Bowl in 1969.
Yeah, that would have been. It would have been. Yeah, like Super Bowl 3. Yeah. In the Denver. Yeah. What were you saying, Mike?
You'll like this. The longest punt ever in football, 108 yards in Canada.
And it's
Tell me more about it.
Well, no, that's Canada. It doesn't really count. I mean, the wind was blowing like.
They have a longer and wider field, dude.
Randall did 91 yards in 1989.
Yeah, there you go. 1989,
That's
91
crazy.
yards. Yeah.
Against the Giants.
Yep. I remember when it happened. I remember just watching it being like, what? You know? Talk about putting field position around. Yeah. All right, guys.
Watching Dante Hall and Devin Hester was the best with their punt return.
I hope Devin Hester makes the Hall of Fame as a returner. If they look at him, he'll make it.
He deserves it. It. Yeah.
Before we jump out of here, I want to bring up one more triplet that I loved as well. Favre, Driver, and Amon Green. I loved Amon Green.
Oh yeah,
Amon Green was good.
Yeah,
he fell off real quick. He went to the Texans, and that was it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. All right, guys. Sean, first of all, I'm going to say goodbye to you and say, seriously, be a part of the show anytime you want.
Thanks for blessing us with the prodigy.
I leave this all to Jacob. He's such a great. He's an amazing kid.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that. I always say it. He makes the show smarter just by being here.
Now go clean your damn room, he said.
Appreciate you having him.
Yeah, your dad said clean your room.
My room's pretty spotless, actually.
Yeah. Do your homework, Jacob. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Appreciate
it too.
All right. Awesome.
I can't believe my dad just called him for like an hour and a half.
Pick up your toys and put your blanket on.
Hey, David Whitescarver Dave, who was on here earlier, just texted me a trivia question with no answer. Nobody hit Google. All right,
Mike.
Everybody, hands away from the keyboards.
Okay.
Bucks trivia. Who was the first Bucks quarterback to play his entire NFL career with the franchise?
Is he dead?
Did he?
Couldn't have been long.
Sean Kent. No.
I'm going to say Sean King.
Steve Spurrier.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was Steve Spurrier.
A football coach?
Wait, did you already give us the answer?
No, I'm guessing.
Oh,
I don't know the answer.
I don't know.
It was Steve
it wasn't
Spurrier.
Sean King and it wasn't Josh Freeman.
No. Dave, if you're still listening, put the answer. We need the answer, brother. Don't just fire a question off to me.
I'm going with Sean King as well.
Sean King played for Detroit.
No, Sean,
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Steve Spurrier or Chris Sims.
I don't know.
I don't think Chris Sims played anywhere else after he got busted his
Was he a
spleen.
starting quarterback?
I think Sims did come back and play.
Did
Sims
he?
was with the Jets, wasn't
He not on the Jets? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I think
he was
played
in the
for
Jets and the Patriots.
Do we
That's
really
what
want
happened
to
to his
call
brain.
Do we really want to call what Brad Johnson was doing in Minnesota as playing? 'Cause he sucked.
Did he? I don't think he sucked.
I have no idea.
Brad Johnson.
Brad team.
All right,
He was
No
above
idea.
500 in his career, so he didn't suck that bad.
Right. That's why I'm like,
well, in Minnesota, I thought he was awful when he left.
no, he couldn't. But he was only with the Bucks for a couple of years.
Yeah,
David, let us know.
yeah. Now,
Yeah, I just texted him. Who? I'm
He,
gonna guess
he just said Spurrier played for the Niners. No.
is it gonna be? It's gonna be somebody crazy like Josh Freeman.
No, Josh Freeman played elsewhere. He went elsewhere.
Parnell Dickinson. Parnell Dickinson played 8 games at quarterback in 1976 and started 1 game.
Wait a minute. Wasn't Parnell one of the IR guys who had came from another team, though?
That was before my time.
I know. I'm waiting for Dave. Oh, Dave.
David said
Dave.
Parnell Dickinson.
But he was a
I
quarterback.
got to look that up because I think Parnell came from another team off IR. I think he was one of the IR guys because our first draft.
Northeast team too. Oh, come on, man. Dave, you're fired.
Dave's not here.
No, he texted me that question. Yeah, he was in chat. I mean, he was here, so I don't know.
All right, gentlemen, I am jumping out of here. I'm going to be looking at the feed here for the answer, but I am out of here.
All right, you have a great night, Tyler.
You know what? It is Parnell Dickerson.
Okay.
He only played 1 year. His whole career was 1 year.
Okay. I didn't remember Spurrier playing anywhere else.
I didn't. I don't remember him at San Francisco.
I don't remember it in San Francisco.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go through one at a time. Joshua, you want to tell everybody a little bit about you, where they can follow you, etc.?
Yeah, you guys follow me at on Twitter at Joshua_C_Allen. I'll be popping up on these shows randomly. Peter's show, Rick's show, whoever. And then I'll be starting my own show up very shortly. Just trying to hammer out a day and time that works best for myself and Buck support. Otherwise, I'll be writing some articles. You can find those out there too. And go Bucks. Let's wrap up this number 5 seed this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
See you, boys.
Oh,
Bye.
I accidentally. I thought it was clicking Joshua out, and I ended up clicking Johnny Dean out. Johnny, where do they find you?
You can find me in Pittsburgh, but if you get too close, I'll file a stalking charge against you, bud. I'll see y'all later, man.
Bolton. Okay. Well, thanks, Johnny.
Later, bud.
Okay, and Jacob.
Yes, you can check out the heart.
Ask you or your family if you've ever had bacon or ham. You guys like bacon or ham?
I like bacon. My dad will eat bacon. He doesn't. I don't think my dad's. Or he hasn't. At least I've never seen him eat ham. But that's. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. That was just one of those things. It was like, oh.
Yeah. That he blew it. No, you can check out our Hard Count Football podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud, and you can check out the Hard Count Football podcast live, which is Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel, and then on Bucks Report now as well. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charno, Instagram at Hard Count Football, and TikTok at Hard Count Football as well. Rick, it's always a lot of fun. I'll be back time and time again. It's great.
Better
great.
be.
For sure,
Right.
for sure. I'll talk soon, man.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, guys. We will be back on Saturday night for another What's Cooking in the South. And it probably won't get off the rails like tonight did, but you never know. And Dave, you said Spurrier. Spurrier did not play his entire career for the Buccaneers. So he also played for the 49ers. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming by. Wonderful night. Had a good time. Always like having you here at the intersection of food and football. And who does not love both of those things? I don't know. A couple quick comments here. Fitzy is just as capable of playing a bad game as a good game. Not so much lately. He's been playing an awful lot of good games, my friend. An awful lot of good games. Everybody plays a bad game now and then. But yeah, he's been playing pretty well. So I'm getting the evil eye here from the producer who's telling me it's definitely time to shut this thing down for the night. The producer is giving me a dirty look. So you guys, thanks a lot for another fun night, and we will see you on Saturday night right here. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:00 here on the Bucks Report. What's Cooking in the South? Sunday night, it gets crazy at 9:00. Batten down the hatches. It gets wild. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday night on Live from the Cheap Seats. Until then, guys, eat good. Go Bucks.